going to take a bit to sync up. Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. It's always a trick. There we go. So once this. There we go. Okay.
Alright, we're live?
Yep, we should be.
Right. Hello, Wolfpack. Cat and Wolf are back with another streaming party, and this time it's gonna be a short one because we'll show Wolf mercy. So, in case you hadn't known, we're going to be ranking the Final Destination movie series, and lucky for Wolf, there's only 5.
Yep.
We're doing this in honor of the late, great Tony Todd's death. Tony Todd was a major character in this franchise, and I know some people are going to ask, well, why aren't you doing Candyman? Well, unfortunately, Wolf and I are not huge fans of that franchise, and there's only one good movie. Like, the first Candyman is the good one, and all the sequels pretty much suck. There's like, I don't see any point in measuring, well, which one sucks a little less, and putting those on a ranking or whatever. Some people wanted me to do a video for the Candyman saga. I pushed that back because honestly, I don't have a huge interest in the franchise because only the first movie's good. So we're gonna do a franchise that people actually wanted us to rank, the Final Destination saga, which has Tony Todd as allegedly the Grim Reaper, or maybe not. Wolf, do you have any familiarity with this series?
I have also, hello, Mad Dog. I did see your message of hey.
Yeah.
The only familiarity I have is I have watched the How to Survive channel review the Final Destination movies, and I think I've watched it 3 times now.
Yeah, well let's get a little warmed up so people start joining the party. So, no ranking yet, but in case you don't know, the Final Destination saga is pretty much a series about dealing with the horrors of death. However, death is a supernatural cosmic entity that comes after people who were supposed to die in an accident, but one of the characters has like a psychic vision / premonition where they foresee their death and basically prevent it, and a group of survivors don't get on the accident which was supposed to kill them. So death fixes that by orchestrating their deaths through over-the-top schemes that kill them later, while the group tries to figure out ways to escape its overly complex schemes.
Hello, Yara. Also, yes, it is basically just horseshoe theory, but with death instead, where if you try to change what's supposed to happen, eventually it will course correct in some way.
Right, and apparently the selling point of this franchise is death has these Rube Goldberg-style traps.
A lot of them are very complex. Other times they're just kind of normal.
Right, sometimes it's another accident that happens, and sometimes death is like pulling strings blatantly. The selling point is the over-the-top deaths. Basically, we watch people die in these absurd scenarios, and it gives you the fear that literally anything can kill you because death has magic.
Yeah.
And Tony Todd is one of the few recurring characters in this franchise. He plays a coroner literally named Bloodsworth, and he's implied to be death, but they leave the window open that he might not be, like Michael Myers.
I think by the 3rd one, it's basically just shown he basically is death, because they keep using his voice a lot when, like, death's about to happen for the big groups.
Right, and the 5th one pretty much flat out confirms this, because he tells them that, oh, you can still live if you do this.
Yeah, he knows the rules. He's definitely got to be death. There's no way he's not.
Yeah, Tony Todd is the best part in this, because he's pretty much over the top and having fun doing his Candyman thing, where he likes scaring the hell out of these kids. He's cool, he's implied to be death, and basically he meets up with the characters at least in one time in each of these films.
Yeah.
One he's not in, and that's the worst one, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, he's kind of a presence in all these movies. And because, like, Tony Todd, we like him, he's a good actor. Wolf knows him as Dreadwing from Transformers Prime.
I somehow forgot that, even though you told me literally yesterday.
Yeah, and he was also in, unfortunately, Revenge of the Fallen.
Oof.
He was the Fallen, basically the founder of the Decepticons, and him being Dreadwing was kind of like an homage, like getting a veteran Transformers actor back.
Okay.
And this time he got to be in a good story of the Transformers. Yeah, I remember being, 10 years old when Final Destination was announced. Yeah, I remember seeing trailers of these when we were still going to Dad's place.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was like a very early 2000s franchise.
Yeah, I honestly, it's kind of like Saw in that regard.
Yeah, it was about the characters dying cool deaths. That was the big selling point.
Exactly, and then each one would just amp up the gore. But
Yeah.
also the first one seemed very kind of like low production, just like the first Saw.
Outside of the deaths, what kept it going was people were interested in the premise because, like, death is scary, and the fact that death can come after you is what really sold people on the horror side of these things.
Yeah, it really shows a dark, twisted side of like a miracle. That's like, hey, you might have survived this time, but who knows? Maybe down the line, some even worse accident will happen to you.
Right. It was a very creative franchise.
Yes, and if the comments on the How to Survive video were right, apparently the first movie was supposed to be an X-Files episode, but they just, I think, maybe liked the idea too much and just wanted to expand it into a movie.
I mentioned this once on our Twilight Zone reviews, but a Twilight Zone episode actually inspired the first movie.
That makes sense.
The episode 22 about a woman who foresees their plane being destroyed. And people think she's crazy because she doesn't want to get off, but getting off is what allows her to live. And her dream was not just a dream, it was a psychic vision.
Mm-hmm.
And that pretty much led to a 5-movie franchise down the line. This time for like modern day stuff.
Yep.
It is fun. The first 2 movies at least tried to tell a deep story, but over time it just became, dumb, campy fun where it's just dark comedy and horror.
Even that, no. I've seen the deaths of the first 2 films, and they still are hilarious at times.
Yeah, they are.
There was a dark comedy element to it, I think, throughout the entire thing. It's just how it was used. And 3 and 4 kind of just amped it up.
Right, they
Especially
embraced the
4.
goofy side way too much.
4 kind of pushed it as well.
Yeah.
I'll get to that
We're
later.
gonna get to that. Back then, only heard about the movie saga, and the first and second movies were on TV constantly. Yeah, I do. Like, I got into the series actually pretty late. I was not into these when they first came out.
Yeah, neither was I.
Because I was scared
dying.
of the deaths.
Exactly.
Yeah. The trailers really sold you on the dying horribly aspect.
Exactly. It did its job too well.
And yeah, I watched it later, and now I own all the movies. There is supposed to be a 6th movie, and I was holding back on ranking this, but because Tony Todd's death is so recent, and everybody has been asking me to rank the series forever, might as well do it. It's like, we could do it again later or whatever.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're gonna talk about Final Destination. Hopefully more people show up, because we're almost about ready to start. But good to have you here, Yara, Mad Dog, whoever else is the third.
I've got 4 on mine. Although I might just be seeing you now.
Okay, so the series started by it was like changed teams like each passing film. James Wan worked on at least 3 of these, but he came in and out kind of.
Yeah, well, he mostly did 1, 2, and then he came back for 5 is what I hear.
And that's the one that's kind of saved the franchise, supposedly. Yeah. But yeah, Final Destination kind of ran its course much earlier than Saw did, because
somehow.
Yeah, apparently people kind of got sick of these, and they did not get inventive by 3 and 4. That was kind of the problem, and 5 did not smash records like the first 2 at the box office. And that's kind of why they put it on hiatus. Supposedly the 6th film is Tony Todd's last film he ever made. So it's probably going to be dedicated to him.
If it comes out.
Yeah, if it comes out. It could be canceled, too, because Hollywood's canceling a lot of stuff, too. They canceled the Elm Street series.
Oh, wow.
But okay. So if you don't know how a tier list works, I'll explain for the 1% of you who don't remember. We're going to be ranking them on this tier list from best to worst. S is the best. It is the greatest. It is perfect. We absolutely love it, and everyone should watch it. A is good, not great. It has flaws, but it's definitely a good film to enjoy and have fun with. B is average. It's got good and it's got bad. It's not that great. It's a pretty okay movie. Not the greatest you'll ever want to watch, but I think some people might have fun with it. But it's definitely not a pile of crap. C is below average. It is the weakest of the movies. Like, this is the one that has so many flaws, but there was potential there, so it has much more hope. And D is for Doggy Doo. It is the bad one. It is the bottom level. Sorry, this one doesn't have an F tier for once, but I don't think the Final Destination have, like, so awful it's, like, on the same level as the Elm Street remake or the Texas Chainsaw 3D bad. Just, like, terrible, but, like, I've seen worse. So D it is.
Hello, Shadowlink, and yes, it is Final Destination instead of Candyman.
Yeah, sorry, we're not too huge fans of Candyman. I don't think Wolf's ever seen a single one of them.
I think I saw a review for the newest one.
YMS?
The, like, reboot. It might have been someone else.
Yeah, I thought the first... I'm not even that huge a fan of the first one. I thought it was okay. Like, it has good moments. Tony Todd is definitely the selling point of that movie. Unfortunately, it comes attached with a mediocre story. I didn't really love it. If you don't know Wolf, that one is about the urban legend of the Candyman killer. He's basically
Right.
Bloody Mary. You say his name in the mirror 5 times, he shows up and kills you, and basically he's stalking this woman who looks just like his dead girlfriend, and he's trying to coerce her into being a ghost with him.
Huh, okay.
It's weird.
Yeah.
The first one is definitely a decent movie, and all the sequels suck. That's why we're not doing them, because honestly, I wanted to praise Tony Todd, and Final Destination has more fun to it. And people wanted to see us do Final Destination more.
Yeah. And it's not really about sequel baiting in a first film. It's more about, it's kind of like Halloween, Friday the 13th, all those like horror films, heck, even Gladiator, where you have a good, outstanding film to like most people, and they just want more money. And that's why you get sequels like that.
Right.
It's not that, oh yeah, there's definitely a story to tell. It's, okay, how do we spin a story to tell to get money?
Yes, Yara, there are more than one Candyman movie. There are at least 4. There's the original, number 2, Day of the Dead, and the terrible 2020 reboot by Jordan Peele and Nia DaCosta. If you don't know who that is, Wolf, she directed The Marvels.
Oh god, okay.
And yeah, it is bad. The Candyman is basically George Floyd. So.
Yeah, I'm aware of tackle stuff like that.
Yeah, it is bad. We didn't want to talk about it also to not get too political on this channel, and unfortunately Candyman is a political series.
Yeah.
The first one, and definitely the 2020 one, which came out during the BLM stuff.
Yep.
And yeah, we want to have fun here, so Final Destination it is.
And yeah, it is weird that even Kat and I were both exposed to a lot of horror stuff really young.
Yeah, we thank Robot Chicken for that. I saw the horror killers on that Big Brother
That's
parody.
right. Oh, that was
and
funny.
I thought they were funny. I had to see their movies, and yeah, they were pretty scary.
Yeah,
They were not as funny as Robot Chicken made them to be.
of course not.
And also, Michael Myers was not Austin Powers. Coming to think of it, I was exposed to a bunch of horror stuff when younger. Yeah,
I just read that one, yeah.
And yeah, Yara, there are 4 Candyman movies,
Yep.
but we're doing Final Destination, so I guess we can finally start. Let's start with the original, the first Final Destination. This is the one about Alex Browning and a gang of his colorful high schooler cast
Yeah,
and
the like
cliques.
French class on flight 180.
Yeah, the French class is taking a plane to Paris, and basically Alex sees all these foreshadowing omens, and he thinks something's up with this, and the plane basically explodes in midair, killing everyone. They all die burning or being thrown out.
The deaths are horrific.
Yeah, they are good. The premonitions are also what people love because they're the fake out deaths.
Right.
Or at least the starting point. And
Yeah.
we find out it was all a premonition he foresaw. Alex freaks out, and the idiot bully guy like picks a fight with him for some reason, and they all get thrown off the plane.
Look, he needed to live, and thankfully it's pre-2001.
Yeah. Yeah, so they all get thrown off the plane instead of arrested for, causing a fight.
Yep.
And basically everyone thinks Alex is crazy, but then a few minutes later the plane does explode, killing everyone. And we're left with this group of group of colorful characters who basically are the survivors slash slasher victims who are going to get picked off by Death because they escaped his divine will.
Yep.
Yeah, the plane explodes, the school holds, they live, and everyone thinks something's up with Alex. One thing I hated about this movie is that for some reason, they think he caused the explosion. It's like weird, like the FBI step in, and they think like Alex might have, like, because he knew about the plane exploding.
I can see that, yeah.
He's like a teenage boy. It's
look, they get up to crazy things.
Yeah, someone commented, premonition, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, is in fact the Brazilian title. First Final Destination movie was good for what it was. The deaths are creative, characters are mostly likable, pretty good A tier overall for me. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's not S tier. I think the first one is okay.
Oh yeah, definitely.
This one has Alex, this one has his love interest, Clear Rivers, who's the hipster girl, who's an intellectual outcast, like, she's like reading feminist manifestos and is an artist. And she's the quirky girl.
Okay.
It has the idiot bully Carter, who weirdly actually gets character development in this. He's like a total douche at the start, but over the course of the film, he actually becomes total bros with Alex by the end. It's like, he saves his life at one point and intervenes. And, Stifler from American Pie is in this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I did a ranking on that. Yeah, the Stiffmeister's in this. He plays the cool guy on American Pie. They cast him as the loser nerd in this movie, which pretty weird. Sean William Scott is an over-the-top goofy nerd, but he's pretty fun. There's this teacher lady who apparently doesn't trust Alex, and she's like suffering from survivor's guilt because her coworker went back on the plane instead of her. She said that a teacher needs to escort the students on Paris, and they allow one of the teachers to go back, and she volunteers to stay behind, and that causes a lot of guilt because her students and coworker were on that plane who died. I didn't like that for some reason she's also the most creeped out by Alex and thinks he's evil or something. It is weird. Like, the other movies do not do this, where they think the person who had the premonition is a crazy nut who might be the killer or something. And the idiot bully's girlfriend, who has the funniest death in the movie. Alright, Wolf's taking a brief pause. I do think this one might be A tier. Yeah, sorry, I needed some water. Yeah, I do think this one is A tier. It does have the most flaws. I do think it has slow moments, and it is pretty clear the writers were trying to find their footing with this movie. So, basically, like, everyone survives. I think it's weird. The school holds a memorial for all the kids who died, and I love how they dedicate an eagle statue to them. It's like, yeah, they all died on a plane. Let's remind them of flight.
Yeah, that's kind of strange.
Dedicate an eagle statue to them. They host this memorial. Alex's best friend is also racked a bit with guilt because his brother was on that plane.
Okay.
The two vow to meet up later, but then Alex starts seeing these omens and getting signs. Like, he throws, like, one of his Penthouse magazines at a fan and it slashes it, but then, like, one of the strips of paper says his best friend's name on it.
Huh.
And it's like a warning sign. Like Alex can foresee some of the stuff that's about to happen, but he's trying to, like, pinpoint, like, exactly what. So, the best friend, like, this is where Death finally comes, and at this point, we actually see, like, obscure bits of Death here and there, like his shadow.
Black shadow goes over.
His shadow, like, skull reflection briefly, and, like, the teapot, like, the shadow of the hands, like, across the window. It's like, yeah, Death is actually kind of a character in this one. The other movies would not do this. So, again, they were at first movie. Yeah. So we see Death. The best friend is, like, shaving, and then
even though he really has no facial hair,
right? Yeah, he's like just clean shaven, but he's like shaven because, you know, teenager. And basically, Death knocks over like this ointment bottle or the toilet water, and it's like flooding and coming for him. And while the best friend is like walking around the bathroom, he slips, falls on a clothesline around the shower that wraps around his neck and strangles him. And it's like, it's played up like Death is trying to make it seem like he committed suicide.
Yeah, they're trying to make it look accidental or something.
And yeah, it is the first supernatural death in the series. He's like being hung in his own shower, and he's trying to he's like slipping on the wet floor.
Yeah.
He falls in the tub. He's trying to reach for his scissors to cut the thing, but I don't think a pair of nose trimmers is gonna do that.
Yeah, definitely not.
And it's pretty graphic death because we see his bloodshot eyes too,
Yeah.
briefly, and of course he doesn't make it, and Death like cleans up the mess to make it look like a suicide because I guess Death is afraid of getting caught.
Yeah.
And basically they think he killed himself because of the guilt, and Alex picks up that Death is doing something, like this was an unnatural cause of death.
Yep.
And then he and Clear Rivers team up to basically solve this because they know Todd was not suicidal. They go to the morgue and meet the main man himself, Tony Todd.
Yep, who informs them that that there's no accidents in death. It's all part of his sadistic design.
Yeah, Tony Todd plays like this mysterious, enigmatic coroner who likes scaring the kids, and basically he's pretty much the one who's like expositing the plot, telling you the supernatural conflict, and it's implied he might be Death, and pretty much confirmed in the sequels. Yeah, Bloodsworth cryptically warns them that they escaped Death's grasp, and Death is now coming for them.
Yeah.
And this convinces Alex that his premonitions were right, that he's got to do something, and he has the power to prevent this. And basically he spends all the film trying to prevent the deaths, and some of the deaths do happen.
Yep.
Because of weird supernatural stuff. One of my favorite is ironically what some audiences consider the scariest scene, where the idiot bully's girlfriend dies getting rammed by the bus.
That is the most hilarious one.
Yeah, she like gives this soul-searching speech about how we have to accept that and live life to the fullest, and bam, a bus hits her like mid-sentence.
It's the most hilarious one.
Hi, Kat. I've been a big fan of you since middle school. Nice to have you, Alex05. Good you're still a viewer. Glad to have you here.
Yeah, Axel.
Definitely the funniest death. Yes, I agree.
Yes.
The girlfriend's death was so funny. Apparently, test audiences found that scary, and they inserted a scene after where Alex is like calming his nerves and drinking like medicine of seltzer or something to like give people time to breathe and let it in. But I was just laughing so hard. It's funny.
Because it comes so out of nowhere. That makes it hilarious.
Yeah, she's just like walloped to mid-speech.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help that the later movies would do this again. Yeah, the girlfriend dies a hilarious death. And this triggers like the idiot bully's character development, because then he has his meltdown completely, and he's like, I'm not gonna die, I'm gonna live. Then he, like, when they all try to unite in the car, and he's like driving like a maniac everywhere, and I guess decides to commit murder-suicide or something, because he like stops on the train tracks to kill them all.
I feel like that's Death doing that. Because then moments later when they try to get out, the car doors literally lock on them.
Right, and the bullies, of course, his seatbelt won't even come out too, even though all the characters got out. And Alex pretty much saves his life, and we find out that you can intervene with Death and delay their inevitable demise by saving them.
If you save someone, it will just... Death's focus will just jump to the next person that should have died.
I remember watching one of these movies, but I don't remember which one it is. Well, we'll probably remind you when we give a synopsis. Yeah. So yeah, he stops him, and I like the Stifler's death is basically, he yells at you're dead, and then the train hits like a piece of metal from the car. It goes flying and cuts off Stifler's head.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, the Stiffmeister died as he always wanted to, getting head. It like beheads him, and I love how they pretty much get over his death like in seconds and basically says, that's it, I know how to stop it. It's like as if their friend didn't die in front of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically you find out that they can die and he can intervene and stop these deaths, and Stifler dies, and he's like, Alex tries to figure out, because there's clues, because Death is apparently killing them in the order they sat on the plane.
Yeah, it's the order of their death, basically.
Yeah, basically, they always do these. There's like a pattern that they didn't see during the accident, and they figure it out and realize that Death is killing them in the same order they were supposed to die originally.
Yep.
Oh, hey, Network 98. Good to have you. He finds out, and we get to another funny death, the teacher, because, like, the teacher's, like, in her kitchen, like, making a bunch of stuff. Her, like,
Oh, I
her,
remember
like,
that.
mug is, like, cracked, and it...
Yes, and she's spilling, like, alcohol or whatever.
She spills, like,
everywhere.
alcohol, then the stove, like, catches fire.
Yeah, but she also put it over her computer, and it's the old bricky computer, so it causes another fire.
Right,
because
it's like a fire in her house.
Explosion because the
then
glass hits her.
She slips on all that broken, like, drink, and then she's trying to reach up, and she grabs a bunch of towel on knives that fall down.
because she's currently bleeding from the neck, so she's trying to get the towel to stop the bleeding.
And, of course, the knives fall fast enough to stab her.
Yeah,
like,
well, one does.
They, like, one of them, like, goes right and impales her and wounds her.
But it doesn't even end there, which is funny.
Like,
because one
Alex
of the people
shows up and tries to save her.
But then the, like, chair falls over and
and
stabs it even more.
Further. It's, like, so funny. It's like, really, just need an extra push, and bam, she's dead. Alex escapes, the house blows up, and of course the FBI were driving by, because this is like the first and few that have the FBI subplot, where they think Alex is somehow killing all these people because they survived. It's like, it's pretty pointless, honestly.
That's a dumb motive anyways.
Yeah. Oh, off-topic question, but do you know what you're gonna do after you cover all the Goosebumps episodes? I was gonna do, like, some random stuff. We still have Twilight Zone.
Yeah,
that's not
I'm still
done.
going through that as well, yeah. I've got the Green Lantern, the animated series, and then, of course, a couple editorials and topics I want to cover.
And Wolf has anime.
Yeah, that too.
I have some passion projects in the making. I'm working on a few right now. Mostly want to do some horror rankings like this. Okay, back to the movie.
Yep.
Basically, like, Alex thinks he's next, and he boards himself up in this cabin in the woods.
Yep.
And, like, has, like, everything, like, sharp objects put away. He's boarded up and closed off. Kind of like this conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, he really closes himself off. Surviving, but not thriving.
Yeah, but then he realizes, he notices the pattern, and he notices he swapped seats with, like, the girls in the beginning, meaning that he's not next, like he thought. Clear Rivers is, and Clear and he have had, like, this sort of romance going on in the background, where basically they're falling in love while they're trying to solve this mystery, because she's the outcast and knows what it's like to have nobody believe you and care for you, because he's being outcasted right now because of his premonitions. Like, yeah, he grows to love her, and of course he realizes she's in danger, and he rushes off to save her. The FBI try hunting him and chase him through the woods, and while Claire is working, apparently Death takes the form of the biggest lightning storm ever, and, like, literally causes, like, natural disaster at Claire's house, and causes all the electricity to go haywire. I swear, at one point, a down cable is, like, chasing her. Like, he, like, knocks down the power cables and it's, like, coming at her and howling. It's, like, setting the house slowly on fire. All her appliances are blowing up, and the house is catching fire, too, in her place. She tries running to her garage and driving out, but no, then the garage suddenly collapses on her car, trapping her, and the cable is still chasing her.
The downed wire catches up,
Yeah, the wire's coming for it. Like, it's, like, on the hood of her car, slowly straggling. She can't touch the metal or else she'll get barbecued. So Alex shows up and tries to help her, but only makes things worse because Death really wants them dead.
Yep.
Then he realizes, because he has to sacrifice himself and basically allow Clear to escape, and he grabs the wire and electrocutes himself while Clear escapes the collapsing garage and burns. And the house comes down, but she saves Alex, who temporarily dies, but comes back to life. The FBI show up and they save his life, because I guess they cleared his innocence now by this point. And Alex is saved. He intervened, and he technically died and came back to life. And they believe they stopped death by this point.
Yep.
So we get like a time skip to like a year later where Alex, Clear, and the idiot bully Carter all survived, and the bully's now total bros with them.
Yep, and they're on another flight to Paris.
Yeah, they actually make it to Paris this time and think everything's gonna be okay, but then we get our twist ending. Alex realizes that there's still more to the pattern, that death could restart all of this and just try again, and then Alex almost gets hit by the same bus, apparently in Paris, but the bully saves him and intervenes, saving him. And then a big 180 sign falls down and kills the idiot bully.
Of course.
And we play a song about not being afraid of death at the end credits, ending the movie.
Yep. And you haven't missed much, James. We've just covered the first Final Destination film.
Yeah, we're on the first one still. Plenty of Tales from the Dark Side too. Yeah, I got that. I'm just kind of trying to circle around the copyright. That's why I'm not embracing that show yet, because they're still fighting me.
Also, hello, just some random guy who comments.
Sorry I'm late. It said 1 p.m., but it's
1300's military time.
Anyway, here I am, expect me to leave every now and then. Yeah, most people do.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, now I remember what movie I saw was the second movie. Okay, so I thought the first one was okay. It wasn't the best, but it definitely had its moments. I did laugh at the dark comedy moments. I thought they were good. The premise is, of course, creative. Alex and Clear are fine. The story is okay. I didn't care much for some of the people he was trying to save, though.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, like Stifler's a goofball. The teacher's a jerk. Apparently, she distrusts Alex, and she gets the funny death for it. The girlfriend doesn't really have any character. Her death is just a complete joke. And the idiot bully's like a total jerk for half the movie, but then he suddenly comes around, which I give credit. They try to give him character development. But again, his death was also kind of a joke because the 180 sign crushes him.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to put this in either A or B.
I can see this as an A, honestly.
All right.
I think as the start of it.
Start of it, yeah. It had some problems, but it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, A rank for the first Final Destination. This one is a decent horror movie, but I do not think it is the perfect classic up there with Elm Street or Friday the 13th or even Scream.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, they called the fourth one The Final Destination because that's where it was supposed to end.
Yeah, we'll get to that. It was supposed to be the final chapter.
Yep.
Alex saves all, but they don't like this ending. Yeah, there was an alternate ending in the first ending where Alex actually dies, sacrificing himself, and Clear has, like, his baby, and that knocks them off death's list because they created life.
Right.
This is a concept that the second movie would explore much better.
Yeah.
And basically this was removed because test audiences loved Alex and didn't want him to die.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah, because he was actually a pretty good character. Unfortunately, the sequel would abruptly kill him off screen because the actor couldn't return.
Yep.
Which gets us to Final Destination 2.
Yep.
I actually really love this one.
Really?
I think it is the best movie in the saga.
Wow.
This is the one with the infamous highway accident.
Oh, yes, that's right. One of the other big things of Final Destination is all the ways they do die they're in, like, pretty normal ways. They're things that anyone would be afraid of. Because the first one's the plane crash. The second one is a highway accident behind one of those log trucks.
Third is a roller coaster accident.
4 is NASCAR going wrong.
And 5 is a trip across a bridge where the bridge collapses.
Yep.
Yeah, all pretty realistic ways to die,
Exactly.
and that's what made these so scary. Number 2 I really like, because the highway accident I think is the coolest and has held up the most well effects-wise. Basically, this girl, Kimberly, played by Goosebumps' idiot bully sister, Kim, from Don't Wake Mummy. Yeah, a Goosebumps kid is our main protagonist. Yeah, she plays this awkward shy girl going on a camping trip with her friends, and they get on this highway where a logging truck happens to lose its cargo because death caused it, where the logs cause a huge mass highway crash where either the logs kill people or the cars spiral out of control,
Yeah.
and all these colorful characters die on this highway. But of course, it was all a premonition, and Kimberly stops them from going on the overpass that gets them on the death highway.
Yep.
And, like, she stops them. Like, a lot of people are confused, like, what she's doing. Why is she blocking the path? This friendly officer comes by and asks what's the deal and tries to comfort her. She's, like, freaking out, saying everyone's gonna crash. And just like first one, a few minutes later, the truck causes the accident, kills a whole bunch of people.
Yep.
And all the people we saw die in the premonition are now alive, surviving what should have killed them.
Yep.
Leading to round 2 of Death trying to fix this by causing divine intervention.
Yep. Although there is one scene in the car crash, or the highway crash, of like the main girl and her friends passing by like a kid and like his dad or something, and the kid has like 2 cars
Crashing
and
them together.
Yeah, and they just so happen to be identical to the truck in her car. And it's like, yeah, really on the nose there.
Let's catch up on some comments.
Okay.
I definitely like the second one much more than the first, honestly. More graphic kills, a lot of more fun characters, and just great overall. Yeah, I totally agree. I think the second is the best.
Yeah.
Are you an actor from Goosebumps is in this one? Yes. Kim from Don't Wake Mummy. She was the idiot bully sister who picked on her brother for being afraid of mummies. She plays, ironically, another character named Kim.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, her name's Kimberly, and the bully sister is Kim. Yeah, she graduated to being a horror movie star, and this was one of her earliest movies.
Yep.
Yeah, she's actually pretty good in this, I will
Okay.
say. She definitely showed her acting chops better.
T.C. Carson, aka Kraos, is in this movie.
Yeah, he
That's cool.
plays the cool black guy teacher. He was the motorcyclist who flipped.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he like flips out, and
I
then
kind of like that death.
yeah, he like careens out of
Yeah,
that
and then
control.
the motorcycle comes, crashes him against the log.
Yeah, and we see he's like this chill black guy teacher.
Yeah.
And he's basically the friendliest guy until he starts having a meltdown too halfway through.
Yep.
And he also played not Count Dooku, Mace Windu in the 2D Gendy Clone Wars.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, because they couldn't get Samuel
Well,
Jackson.
Of course not.
Yeah, he played Mace Windu in the 2D Clone Wars and some video games.
Okay.
Pretty good voice actor.
Knew it. Have you seen Thanksgiving and its sequel, Thanksgiving 3?
No, I have not. I've seen reviews of Thanksgiving. I heard the third one is terrible. Knew it.
I've only heard of it, yeah.
Oh, and yeah, we get like a montage where Alex Browning died by a flying brick,
Oh, jeez.
like off screen. Yeah, his death is like in a newspaper, basically. Like Clear Rivers comes back in this movie.
Right.
She's like the mentor figure,
Yeah.
telling them and teaching them.
Who locked herself in an insane asylum, basically.
Yeah, because apparently she survived the twist ending and is in a protected cell, paranoid that death will come and get her, and has been living in isolation this whole time.
Yep.
Kimberly becomes the new protagonist in this movie, and she basically reaches out to Clear Rivers and talks to her about how she survived, what she did, and that proved that she's not crazy, that basically she did have a real premonition. And yeah, she's basically doing the same thing Alex did, trying to prevent their deaths and solve this mystery. Have you watched The Substance? Nope, never heard of it.
Yeah, same. It might have been brought up in actually a previous stream now that I think about it.
Yeah, I think it is. People ask us all the time.
Yeah.
The deaths in this one are a lot more outlandish, but
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
cool.
definitely.
Pretty cool. We get our first instance of death where like all the car survivors are talked to. They go home, and some of them actually believe Kimberly, and some of them don't.
Okay.
It's like a fair equal half this time. Like they'd have heard, like at this point, people have heard of Alex Browning's survival case.
Yeah.
And which is
And
why there's
Flight
a bit more
180.
believable. They're comparing to the 180. It's apparently been the anniversary since that accident happened.
Incredible.
They mentioned that because, this sequel had to tie it into it somehow. And basically we see that death is coming for them. The first death in this is another dark comedy death where one of the drivers, who's like this rich loser who won the lottery, he's in his apartment
That
with all
is
his
his film,
fancy
okay.
things, and we see like the foreshadowing omens. He like lives like a slob, and of course while he's making stuff, his Death comes in and causes like an accident. He like
Yep.
drops his class ring down a drain and tries
Yeah.
to reach it while he has something metal in the microwave going off, and he of course reaches his hand, gets it stuck in there, and the microwave catches fire.
Yep.
All his slob crap catches
Yeah,
fire
and
easily.
then he used an already oiled up pan for a second thing, something you should never do.
Yeah.
And that makes an even bigger fire.
He's like, he actually gets his hand out of the disposal, surviving it, but then everything's crashing down. He like breaks his window and get out, and he actually makes it out of the explosion, but he threw like his spaghetti out earlier,
Yeah.
and he slips on that and
Onto
falls.
the broken glass of the window.
And then the ladder he climbed down falls and crushes his face.
Yeah, well, at first it fakes it out because it stops, and then it just goes, like, into his eyes.
You said Saw was awful to watch. I heard Hostel was worse. If you
I've
Yeah,
heard
it
of
is
how bad
full on
Hostel is.
torture porn at that
Yeah.
point. We actually people cutting into others.
Is that Eli Roth?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the first one is he dropped out after like the third one.
Oh, jeez.
It's like the funny death, and this guy's like weird, outlandish death makes people convinced that Kimberly was right. She did foresee their deaths, and this is going to be exactly like the Alex Browning case.
Yep.
They're all gonna come for them, and here we actually see her trying to help the survivors. They all gather in like a group. They all talk to each other about their experiences, and we find out that they did survive apparent accidents before, like. One girl like missed her flight, and it was like the flight 180
Of
that
course.
blew up, and one person was on the bus which killed the girlfriend in the first movie.
Nice.
Yeah, her like bus stopped at that point, and she saw it, and like they're all realizing that death is like now coming for them.
Yep.
We get another like we actually get one of the creepier fake out deaths. My friend Bodie said this one freaked him out, where one of like a teenage son is like at the dentist, and we see like death intervening, and we think that he's going to die through some over the top thing where his dentist visit is going to go wrong. Like birds are like crashing into the window because it's like so transparent.
Jeez.
And they put him like on painkiller gas because they're like removing his like wisdom teeth.
Ah, okay.
So he's like partially drugged up, and one of like the decorations, like there's weird fish, like this fish decoration like falls in his mouth, and he's like slowly choking.
jeez.
And then one of the cleansers like thing has a leak and water's in the room, but one of the nurse makes it in and saves him on time.
Okay.
And we find out he's fine, and Kimberly like sees like psychic vision where with like birds, and she thinks birds are gonna lead to his
Okay,
death.
there's
And
that death.
basically Kimberly and the officer, they show up and try to help them, but the son like is chasing these birds, and then accidentally like knocks them into construction crew, like
Yeah.
carrying up new windows, and they fall and
Yeah.
squash the son flat like a cartoon.
Yeah. Well, he chased them because I think it was Kimberly like called out to him about the birds because that was the omen.
Yeah,
And so
and
he tries to like
he
defy
starts
it
to
because
chase
it's
the
clear,
birds,
but
and that caused his
it,
death. Yeah, the dentist scene was intense. I agree. If only he didn't play with the birds. Final Destination Survivor, the dumbest person, dumbest decision, dead obsession with water. By the way, it's your first name with a victim in the third one. Not telling y'all. I hope it's
nice.
not McKinley. Okay, now caught up.
Okay. I'm gonna refill my water.
All right, Wolf's taking a break, so I guess I'll just keep talking about the movie. Yeah, this one gets very creative with the deaths. They actually had a budget for this one, so it looks much better than the first one. Kimberly gathers all the survivors, and they all like coop up in like an apartment and try and make it safe proof like Alex. And this is where we get like a formal introduction to the survivors. They actually have character in this one over the first one. We meet T.C. Carson as the cool teacher guy. We meet the mother, who's now cynical. We meet the uptight workaholic girl, who's a total nerd and doesn't believe this at first. We meet the friendly cop, who starts a romance with Kimberly. They have a pretty cute chemistry. I actually cared about them. They were like the only good couple in these movies. We meet the stoner guy, who's actually pretty funny. He's like this weird goofball who's out there. He like asks a stranger on the elevator if he has dog shit on his foot and like leans it close to his face.
Oh, jeez.
He's a pretty weird character, but he's actually pretty funny. And I'm trying to remember. I think I'm missing one. I'm sure I'll remember it when I remember the deaths.
Probably.
But yeah, they all gather up. She tells them this is happening before, and they eventually recruit Clear River. She finally leaves the asylum because Kimberly tells her that she's afraid of life, basically, and won't do anything to help people. So this convinces Clear to finally face her fears and to combat death and help this new generation of survivors. Clear is like the mentor. She knows this and she explains the plot for them. It is pretty cool seeing Clear come back because this is like one of the few movies where a returning cast member who's not Tony Todd comes back. Clear is played by Ollie Larder, who Wolf should know from the great Paul W.S. Anderson Resident Evil movies. She's Claire Redfield.
Huh, okay.
Yeah, it is pretty weird. She went on to play Claire Redfield.
Yeah.
And, you know, be Alice's cheerleader, basically.
Oh, God, those films are awful.
This movie will end in 5 minutes if Dead just tries not to give them premonitions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what ruined the plot? What if Goosebumps, or what if HBO made Goosebumps or Haunting Hour, they did in an alternate universe? I'd be fine. It sounds like just a reboot.
Yeah, basically.
The only time, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. It's funny because Clear also survives a lot of death's attacks, basically.
Of course.
At one point, a kayak almost hits her.
Jeez.
And she, dodges it, and, it shows it as proof. The survivors, a couple of them don't believe, and a couple of them are because they realize this is true.
Yeah.
They go, the ones that don't go on this elevator.
Oh, God, not the elevator with the man holding the cage of prosthetic hands.
There's, this old guy carrying a bunch of mannequin parts, apparently.
Yeah,
T.C. Carson and the mother, who's now grieving her son's death, are on there.
Yep.
And basically, Death comes in, and she gets her hair snagged on, the hooks of one of the mannequins as she's getting out. And then the door, closes on her head. And, the elevator is, now moving because of Death is pushing it up to kill her. And basically tries to behead her Resident Evil style. And she's they're trying to save her and get her out, but they're too late and rips her head off. And T.C. Carson flips out because it happens right in front of him.
Yep.
And, that would scar anyone for life. And basically this convinces them to finally join him because they're not going to die peacefully.
Yeah.
They're going to die in Death's plans, which are over-the-top gruesome saw traps.
It's all part of Death's sadistic design.
Yeah, the mother basically thought she was going to die peacefully and finds out, no, you're getting your head lopped off in an elevator.
Yeah.
And, they suddenly join her. I do like T.C. Carson melts down and he pulls a gun and tries to kill himself, but the bullets don't happen. The gun doesn't go off even though it's fully loaded. He shot himself 6 times. And,
wow.
Yeah, he doesn't die. The bullets are still in there. Death is gonna make them die the way he planned.
Yeah, everything will go to Death's design. Gotcha. You cannot go off script.
I guess Death likes to give himself challenges or play with his food. Yeah, Death kind of has a sadistic streak in these movies.
Said in the first one. That's what that's what the coroner
You have
said.
to be a fucked up god to kill this plane, and we see a baby on board.
Yeah. Oh no, I was talking about the coroner.
Oh, that's right.
I keep bringing it up.
Yeah, because Tony Todd.
It is a part of Death's sadistic design.
Yeah,
he does call him sadistic.
I mean, it's because Tony Todd's implied to be Death, and he gets some amusement out of what he's talking about. It's it's implied he's sadistic in this
exactly.
version.
So of course they're all going to be awful deaths, except I guess the bus one from the first one. It's still hilarious.
What I remember about the second film is how the connection between the victims of the first and second are entangled. Yeah, basically we find out the first victims were there when the accidents that killed Alex's group happened. And basically Death has planned this all along because this is their final destination. We find, Kimberly finds out there was another survivor on that highway, a pregnant lady, and basically, they go to Tony Todd again, who's doing his corner shtick.
Which weirdly is in a cave now or something.
Yeah, he's at a mausoleum or something, and it looks weird. like he's like doing, of course, his autopsy thing, and this is where like Kimberly and Clear Rivers, because she knows him,
Yep.
and he tells her like they confront him, asking what's going on, and we find out Death has orchestrated another scheme, and this time he's working differently because he's going in the reverse order of the way people died.
Great.
So yeah, this time unexpected. Kimberly's fate is actually up in the air because at the start her friends all get ran over on the highway, but the officer intervened and saved her. So
Yep.
she's kind of a wild card. We don't know when
Yeah.
she's going to die, but she slowly picks up that they're all being picked up in the reverse order when they died on the car crash. Because her friends were the last to die,
Okay.
and they were the first to die in Death's intervention.
Yep.
They confront Tony Todd, and Tony Todd tells them there is a way you can escape death if you create life.
Yeah.
And basically, that means like someone has to like make a baby or
Yep.
save a life, and this is where the plot comes in because the pregnant lady can save them all if she gives birth and survives Death's intervention. And the cop uses like his connections to like have the fellow officer hold her, basically.
Oh, jeez.
It's like she like gets arrested, and the officer's like holding her until his buddy gets here because he needs her for questioning. And
Yeah.
he's just following orders, and she's pissed at him like
Of
she didn't do
course.
anything wrong.
Yeah.
And basically, the characters are trying to work their way to her to find her and solving what's going on, but Death keeps intervening, and they all stupidly ride the same car, and it causes an accident. They crash, and luckily most of them survive. I think the black guy gets hospitalized, T.C. Carson.
Yeah.
Like he gets injured, and they take him away. The workaholic girl is like her seatbelt stuck, and they like crash into a farm. This leads to another unintentionally comedy death where the firefighters are trying to get her in, and there's like these metal spikes in the background.
Jaws of life.
Yeah, the jaws of life. And when they try ripping her door open, her airbag then enters and hits her head against the spikes and kills her.
Yeah.
And it's just such a goofy comedy death. It's like, why didn't you get rid of the spikes first? There's a major goof of Crystal's statement where she said that the people who died that saved the other victims were her friends, despite them, she, Alex, and Carter near the end. It's like, yeah, they weren't really friends.
Yeah.
Like, Clear is an outcast until she befriends them later, and she's only friends with two of the guys
Yeah,
by
just
the end.
acquaintances.
Yeah, there's... one thing, I did like that the stoner guy, actually, he saves, like, the teenage farmer boy, because, like, he almost gets hit by a car, but he
Yeah.
intervenes, and that's a setup for the twist ending, basically.
course.
Yeah, the stoner saved the farm boy's life, said, yo, you gotta be careful. And then, the car that speeds by, like, it triggers, like, the gasoline leaking from the car that crashed, and it leads to another over-the-top death. It causes an explosion, sends, like, the farmer's barbed wire fence flying, and it cuts the stoner guy into pieces, like,
Oh my
flies at him
gosh.
with the barbed wire, and he, like, slices, like, as if he was from the Resident Evil laser room,
Yeah.
and falls apart. It's so goofy. Tony Todd is dead. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
If you mean death, yeah. We did get a double kill with the accident. Woman gets impaled
Yeah.
with the spikes, and comic relief
Just-
guy gets graphically sliced by barbed wire fence. Yeah, I just said that. There was a photo of them in a group that never happened. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were like a graduation photo, or I think a
Alright.
funeral photo.
Something.
And, like, these were kind of people who'd never hang in the first
Yeah.
movie. And they find out that Death is, like, moving faster because he killed two in one accident.
Yep.
They basically go, the pregnant lady's, like, delivering her baby, and the officer holding her has to take her to the hospital. It's actually a pretty funny scene, because he's got to, like, help her.
Yep.
He like, goes to the hospital, and she's giving birth to the baby. The heroes have to race there to make sure nothing happens to her, and she gives birth. They go to the hospital. T.C. Carson happens to be at the same hospital, recovering.
Of course, there's only one hospital.
Right, like, Death, of course, comes for him and, like, tries to, like slowly sets up his oxygen thing to explode and, like, traps him in the room. Like, a convenient wind or something blows the machine at the
course.
door. he's like hooked up to his IV and trying to crawl out, and basically sets up something like against the door, and Clear Rivers actually dies in this movie going after him. She opens the door and that like lights a spark which blows them both up.
Yeah, well, it's because I think it lets in other oxygen and like through chemical reaction blows it up.
Right, and
it's like a vacuum basically. I think.
So yeah, Mace Windu and Claire Redfield both die.
Yep.
And yeah, pretty shocking twist. Yeah, they brought Clear Rivers and kill her off in the final act.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, pretty shocking death. I wonder how people felt about that, because some consider her a final girl.
Yeah.
No, the Ripper, a theory. Tony Todd is the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically confirmed.
Yeah,
by the
Death
next
and the Grim
movie,
Reaper are the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much confirmed in, like, the later movies, but yeah, it's subtly implied in the first two. So yeah, Claire Rivers dies, survivor of the first one, so pretty much all the 180 survivors are gone now.
Yep.
Kimberly, of course, survives along with the officer. The pregnant lady successfully delivers her baby, but then Kimberly has a premonition that the pregnant lady was never one of the accident victims. Yeah, she finds out late. She was in a crash, but she survived.
Yeah.
Yeah, she actually lived, and meaning that this life did nothing. And yeah, they're still on death's list. So then Kimberly finally realizes that there's another way. She has to attempt suicide, basically. She's been having like the psychic vision drowning, and she realizes it's her. She steals an ambulance and drives it into the river, where she nearly dies drowning herself, so the officer can save her and bring her back to life. She was temporarily dead for like a minute or so. And that counts as bouncing back and knocking off Death's schemes.
Yep, and so it's basically doing the first movie again.
Would be better if Windu flew out a window. Yeah, because Revenge of the Sith. Yeah. Yeah, T.C. Carson, he was pretty cool in this movie.
Okay.
So yeah, Kimberly and the officer guy are both the sole survivors. They live, he saved her, and they defeat Death's plan. And then we get our twist ending. They're like had a picnic or something, having
family
event, and they're with the farm couple who mentioned that their son also was lucky enough to survive a car accident, and it's the boy the stoner guy saved.
Yep.
We find out he was supposed to die because his barbecue blows up,
and then his arm lands on his mother's plate.
Right, he ruins their meat.
Hilarious ending.
It's a dark comedy twist ending.
Yeah.
So honestly, I actually really like this one.
Okay.
I might actually put Final Destination 2 at S rank. This is easily the best film. I think it is. I think it ramped up everything great about the first one and had a lot stronger comedy too.
Yeah.
And Kimberly's actually a likable final girl, whereas Clear Rivers was kind of annoying. And it actually had characters who were funny and likable. Like, even the dick characters were at least funny, love to hate kind of dicks. And it had the coolest deaths in the series, because a lot of them were practical effects, and the ones which were CGI actually still look good. The logging truck crushing, like, a guy's entire front car looks so cool.
I think that happened to the cop. Because he was, like, looking away because the coffee spilled on his lap.
Just like how they say The Godfather Part 2 is better.
Yeah.
Love because, and then we get our twist ending. Yeah, we'll be saying that a lot in these movies.
Oh, there's only 3 left.
Yeah. Final Destination 2, S rank. I think it's S rank. Wolf, do you know anything about this movie?
Other than some of the deaths, not really.
Yeah, I would say this one is what made Final Destination a horror name.
Okay.
Which leads us to Final Destination 3.
Yep, what if you were to die on a roller coaster accident?
Feel around the world. Join hands. Try the love train. Love train. That was Wolf is looking at me confused.
Yeah,
that's the song.
Know.
That
really?
is the song at the end.
Of the third one or the second one?
Third.
Okay.
Of course,
That
the
makes
third
sense.
one. This is the roller coaster accident one.
man, were the deaths horrifying again.
Okay, so this one is actually pretty divisive. There are people who absolutely hate it, and some who actually love it and consider it the best of the series.
Really? I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah,
But I can see the positives to it.
I can see some that find it okay too,
Yeah.
but yeah, this is where the red flags of the franchise's quality drop were definitely in this movie.
Yeah.
However, it also has some of its funnest moments too, and really embraced the dark comedy aspect. That was the
Yeah.
thing for many people. This one has Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who most of my viewers would know as Royal Pain from Sky High, or Hera from Star Wars Rebels. If you don't know, Wolf, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is Ewan McGregor's current wife.
Oh, wow. Good for her.
Yeah, he got her on the Ahsoka show.
Heck yeah, nice.
And this one, sadly, Tony Todd only has a brief cameo. He has
Yeah.
a voiceover
Yeah,
in
it's
this
over
one.
the devil at the start of the roller coaster.
He's the devil animatronic at the roller
Exactly.
coaster, welcoming aboard the ride and telling them they're in for a nightmare because, foreshadowing. And
Right, and it basically is just another mention of, like, hey, he's death.
yeah, this pretty much
Like,
confirms he's
Yeah,
deaf.
that's pretty blatant, even though they're trying to, like, hide it.
Yeah, apparently Tony Todd was busy filming other stuff at this point, and that's
Probably.
kind of why his voice was only used.
Yeah.
God, I think he was doing Revenge of the Fallen around this time.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, he might have been. He was definitely busy around this time, so it's just a
Okay.
voice.
Yep.
Fortunately, he won't be back until 5. So yeah, he gets the animatronic cameo. Mary Elizabeth Winstead and her gang are all high schoolers again this time.
Yeah.
They're at this school event at like Knott's Berry Farm or Disneyland or
Yeah.
something. They're at a carnival, basically.
Yeah.
They're going on these rides, and they all want to, of course, ride this new death-defying roller coaster. I'm trying to remember what its name was.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, too, even though I saw the video twice yesterday.
God, it's like Devil's Night or something, and
Yeah, something like that.
or I remember Drake and Josh called it the Demonator. It's amazing. They got Tony Todd to voice the devil in that
Yep.
film. Yeah, it also led to a fan theory that, oh, maybe he's Satan, and that's why he's causing all this. I don't know. They do lean more towards death. That's
Yeah.
the thing. It's like, yeah, he's the devil in this one, but kind of never brought up in the rest. So Mary Elizabeth Winstead and her group of characters are on this roller coaster. We meet all the wacky cast at first this time.
Yep. One guy had his camcorder on the thing.
Yeah, there's like this creepy pervy guy trying to film the
Jeez.
girls. There's the two dumb blonde popular girls. There's the emo kids, and I should mention this. Another Goosebumps kid is one of the
Really?
emo kids. They got Styx, the sassy farmhand from The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight,
Oh,
as
wow.
the emo guy.
Nice.
Yeah, he's McKinley. He like complains that because he hates his name because he
Yeah.
sounds like a dork when he's totally emo, man.
Middle term Angel of Death, yeah.
Angel of Death, yeah. Yeah, Styx is one of the emo kids, who of course is also one of the survivors. There's this dumb jock guy who's always loud and angry. I'm trying to remember, there was the sister of Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She's like the sassy brat.
Yeah,
And a bunch of extras who are just there to die.
of course.
There actually is a character arc in this one because in Mary Elizabeth's friend group, she has her loving, supportive boyfriend and this doofus douche bro who she's kind of just friends with because her boyfriend is friends with him.
Okay.
But he's one of the survivors and they have to work together.
Of course.
And her gal pal who actually is talking about breaking up with him. She's like dating the douche bro
Right.
guy
Oh,
that
wow, nice.
the friend group doesn't die, and she's like considering breaking up with him, and that makes things awkward when the roller
Oh, yeah, of
coaster
course.
accident happens. We see all the signs, and this time the visions are different. Mary Elizabeth Winstead like takes pictures of them and
Yeah.
actually catches like the omens foreshadowing their new death device for surviving the roller coaster in them in this one. She like snaps a bunch of pics prior to the accident. They go on the roller coaster, and this one was admittedly a very fictionalized take of a roller coaster falling apart, but really cool.
It's still horrifying as well.
Yeah, it is one of the most savage scenes. Basically, the stupid guy who brought his camcorder to film it for his YouTube channel, Like, he accidentally drops the camera, and the camera conveniently wraps around one of the tracks.
Okay.
Then when the roller coaster runs it over, that, like, knocks part of the car off and sends them out of control.
Yep.
It, like, breaks, like, the safety gear, apparently.
Yeah.
And, like, people are falling off or
Right.
being, like, trying to get off and being sliced in half or rammed by, like, the bars on the
Yep.
coaster. And I love that at one point, like, pretty much Death reveals himself by stopping the coaster, like, when it's upside down
Yeah,
and
to
people
let
are
more
falling.
Yep. And then it just resumes right after. I think the boyfriend or jock or whoever was standing up and then gets sliced in half.
Right.
on
Yeah.
the palm beams.
I like they gave the black guy the most brutal death. He, like, falls and hits himself on 5 beams.
God. Oh. God, watching that and remembering is still awful.
Oh, by the way, Wolf, this is the first Final Destination which grew attached to the 3D craze. So there's a lot of crap and death flying right at you in this movie.
I thought it was the fourth one that
Like,
did that.
3, 4, and 5 all
yeah.
do the 3D effect. And
I think fourth has the worst one according to the video I watched.
yeah, because if you don't watch it in 3D, the effects look awful in that one. But
Yeah, of course.
back to 3, like, everyone dies, but then we see it was all in Mary Elizabeth Winstead's head.
Yep.
Her name's Wendy. I'll call her that for short.
Okay.
Yeah, Wendy saw it. Then she has, of course, a meltdown and tells everybody the coaster's gonna crash and
Yeah.
everybody needs to get off. And at least half of the cast actually get off on the coaster
Okay.
because, of course, a fight breaks out
Yep.
between, like, the girl and the douche bro guy because he's defending her.
Yeah.
They fight. Security comes and kicks them off. Unfortunately, Wendy's boyfriend, her supportive boyfriend, and her best friend are both still
great.
on the coaster.
All right.
So they go and, like, everybody's still on the ride, wants to ride it.
Yep.
She, like, steps off. She tries to stop them, but security, like, forces her out.
Of course.
They ask her what she's talking about, and then the coaster crashes, killing half the high
Yep.
schoolers, including her boyfriend and supportive friend, leaving her with the douche bro guy as the only one in her friend circle.
How lucky.
Don't go to sleep. Oh, that's a Goosebumps episode. Yeah, Blacksmith Orange wants to do a crossover review with me on that
Okay.
one.
All right.
So, yeah, the high school once again has a whole funeral for this one, and this time they don't have an offensive statue over
Aw.
their memorial.
Oh, they don't want to give him a train statue?
No, they have, like, this memorial wall with all their
Okay.
pictures, and
Sounds like Vietnam.
yeah, it's weird. They, like, have flowers and portraits on
Right,
there.
of course.
Wendy is, of course, upset because her best friend and her boyfriend were both on the coaster and died. Like, all the students are freaking out, and they do believe Wendy this time. Like, this is another case where they don't treat her like she's a weirdo who caused the accident.
Yeah.
This actually tried to give a character arc. The douche bro boyfriend is, like, trying to be nice, and basically she tells him, I was only putting up with you because you were friends with my friends. And, like, she doesn't want anything to do with him, and he basically undergoes, like, a redemption arc and maturing
Okay.
in this movie, because he's, like, the only one who believes her and is trying to
Yeah.
stay friends with her.
Of course. I mean, they were the friend group. Of course he wants to maintain that.
Yeah, they like, form a chemistry and become friends, and eventually, I believe they become love interests by
I mean,
the
they
end.
only killed off their partners.
Yeah. Yeah, they both
It's-
lost their
It's kind of
lovers.
forced at that point.
Don't worry, I'm not the McKinley guy. Whenever I hear that name, I think of the president.
Same.
Yeah, that's what the school was named after.
Okay. The weird
And-
thing is that the roller coasters, that after Frankie was kicked out, it's still happening even though the camera wasn't there. I mean, that's just death taking control.
Yeah, the pervy guy didn't cause his camera to fall down, so yeah, how could he cause the accident then?
Right.
Well,
It'll
death
happen.
pretty much screws with people, so
Right.
yeah.
To just make the screws loose.
And there weren't likable characters. Yeah, that is the problem. James A. Janice pointed this out accurately. Final Destination 3 has asshole and dumbass characters who are just there to die. We're supposed to
it's that part of
Yeah, we're supposed to
horror.
laugh at their deaths. This is the point where it just became dark comedy fully. Yeah, there's a lot of jerks and really stupid people in this movie. The dumb jock guy at one... I remember when he causes, like, the fight. He, like, when Wendy's, like, having her freak out, and he's like, actually making fun of her, saying, oh, listen to her. Oh, the train's gonna crash. It's gonna crash. Man, bitch just wants some fucking attention.
Jeez.
It's like, Jeez, man, she's like freaking out.
Yeah.
And then this, of course, starts the fight. The dumb jock gets a funny death, but he's not the first victim. The
Okay.
first are the dumb blonde girls go to the tanning salon.
Yes, and because in the photo they had the palm tree and the like red faces.
There's like a lens flare,
Yes.
and it foreshadows that they're going to burn to death in the sun.
Yes.
Sun tanning.
And then that happens when the palm tree gets knocked over, locking them both inside.
And they
then-
stupidly bring their drinks in, which like short circuits the locks or something.
And then also the heat keeps going up, and then they just burn alive.
Yeah, of course, one of the girls says, "A little heat won't hurt us." And they like raise the temperature a
God.
little, and then Death
Yeah.
takes advantage of that.
Of course, yeah. And then you get peak cinematography with the camera
Burning
looking.
suntan.
Yeah, you look
units
down at the booths, and then it cuts
to
to
double coffins.
exactly it's
That-
the same position.
that
peak
is my
cinematography.
favorite.
Yeah, it's cool. It's just a good trick.
Also, the hottest nudity in the series because we see them stripped down.
Fair enough. And
They're
they do burn
dancing.
alive.
Yeah, one of the girls actually played a Pennywise victim in
Oh,
the
wow.
It movie. Or the Tim Curry It, when she was like a little girl.
Okay.
Yeah. All the more reason why I never tan myself. Yeah. It is pretty much the darkest but funniest death in the movie. The first one is pretty good. Pretty graphic, pretty
Oh, yeah.
horrifying. Also pretty hot because they're the hot chicks of the movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, also pretty terrifying because since they're also naked, they're completely exposed to the fire.
Yeah, and they can't do anything.
Yeah, do love the double funeral joke, and this is where Wendy starts to fully believe the supernatural because at some point during the funeral, the wind like blows over and she like feels the death or something, and yeah, this confirms that she's right.
And and then when she tries to convince the other friend, she talks about all the like photographs of them, and the first one she brings up is Abe Lincoln. The last photograph
There's like
he
a
had,
line through
yeah,
his
I actually
face.
looked that up on Google Images. Yeah, I found 2 images of it.
There's a line through his face, and that's exactly where he was shot.
Yeah.
And my favorite, the September
9/11.
11th.
Yep, you got the plane over the tower of the World Trade Center.
Yeah, look, there's a shadow of a plane over this tower
Like-
which foreshadowed 9/11.
Like, it's New York. Flights happen all the time. Of course, they're gonna go over it.
I love it's a
But,
9/11 truther.
Yeah, it's so insane to bring that up.
So the truth is, the 9/11 conspiracy is really a government conspiracy. Love South Park.
Yeah. Fortunately, this isn't the last time Final Destination will get sort of close to politics.
Right. It's like the only time they come up in this series,
Yeah.
but it's just so funny.
Yeah.
It's like 9/11 was planned by death.
Oh, part of his sick design. He sent the terrorists there.
Yeah, so yeah, she's pretty much uses it as evidence that death is really after her.
Yeah, and then they also reference the second film, I believe, because you see on the roadside 180.
Yeah, there's 180, and it was also the flight of Alex Browning's
yeah.
crew. And
Yeah, this film also
they
starts
love
the
the number 180.
Well, because it's calling back to the first film.
yeah, that's the only reason.
Death
It doesn't
just,
have.
Death just loves the number 180.
Yeah, it's just because of the first movie. It has like no significance in the universe other than that was the plane
Yeah,
flight. It's like it's Death's number apparently.
Right, and I love in the second film when they're going to the survivor of the first film in the like padded room. Her door is 109, just to evade the 180 curse.
Right. This one has a lot more funnier deaths because Wendy and the former douchebag are trying to crack the mystery. One of my favorites is like they go like to like a McDonald's and they're talking about this stuff, and apparently a U-Haul truck drives by itself, and it's like coming right behind them, speeding.
course.
Like Death cut its brakes, I guess, and
Yep.
it's like falling, and they're trying to race out of the car. Like they can't get out because a dumpster truck like conveniently blocks their door or something, and they're like breaking out of the sunroof and climbing out. The U-Haul crashes behind them, barely misses them, and the engine flies out and
Jeez.
cuts the guy's head in front of them.
Wow, okay.
Like the engine propeller is still going on apparently, and it slices the back of his brain.
Jeez.
And we see it was the weird pervert guy with the camera.
Okay.
And yeah, this convinces them that Death is now trying to speed up their deaths and is killing them in the same order they fell off the coaster.
Yep.
Because he was one of the first to die because he caused the accident.
Yeah.
Plus, this was the last Final Destination released before my lifetime. Oh, you're really young, just some random guy.
Right.
Yeah, this movie came out like 2007, I believe.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, this series was old. It came out in like the early 2000s and lasted until I believe 2012.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, because it took a hiatus
Yeah.
and never came back until now.
Yeah,
Because
I don't think Kat and I have seen the Doctor Reacts stuff because someone's asking about that.
right.
Shit.
Oh, we haven't seen it. 2006. Oh, even
Oh,
earlier.
jeez. Okay.
You feel old. Yeah, I remember seeing these trailers when I was still in like elementary school. So
Yeah. Jeez.
yeah, pretty old. So they convinced her, right? They try to save the dumb jock for some reason. He's in the gym pumping iron, and he's talking about, oh, I'm never gonna die. Fuck death. I control my life. And this is like another Rube Goldberg death. Apparently, like, she saw, like, he had, like, the picture where he's, like, doing a test your strength kind of thing.
Right.
So
Okay.
she thinks the exercise equipment is gonna kill him, and they like this sword, like these real swords that are hung up, like magically fall down, almost slice him, but they slice his equipment, like holding the weights. And he's like, I beat death, and then the weights like come flying, crush his head, like they
God.
come down
Yeah.
like this and
I
splatter
understand the
him.
machine, yeah.
That scene that I remember about the film is after Lewis's blood hit them. Wendy and Kevin got new clothes from the gym. Yeah, they come out completely clean from the blood splattering them.
Nice.
It is pretty
I remember
funny.
at the gym, they just showered off.
Ah, there's all the dates. It stopped at 2011. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this started in 2000 before I could even
Sheesh.
walk.
Wow. Kept coming out 3 years until the final one.
Dang.
It was 2000, 03, 06, 09, and then 11.
Oh, that is a big gap. Okay. So yeah, then they realize that death. This is the point where they finally realize death is copying their photos of how
Yeah.
they died. And one of the dumbest is they actually look at the picture where like the emo kids are playing this shoot 'em up arcade game, and
it has
it
skill
takes
written above it with kill.
yeah, and he's holding like one of the arcade guns at his like friend in the picture frame,
Yeah.
and they wonder how is she gonna die? It's like, come on, you're like looking right at it.
Ah, man, Chekhov just hung this gun over here.
Yeah, then I believe like they go try and save the emo teens. Like they go
Okay.
save Styx and his girlfriend who work at the Home Depot apparently, where lots of safe stuff there.
Yep.
They go there and Styx is not a good handyman like on the farm and basically like leaves stuff out or something.
Yeah.
They like tell the emo kids that death is coming for you, and these photos are like foreshadowing how you're gonna meet your demise. They don't believe them at first until it starts happening, and this leads to one of the more goofier kills where, like, death causes, like, a forklift to go out of control, knocking some stuff down. The douche bro saves Styx from a falling sandbag that almost crushes him.
Okay.
But then, like, the forklift comes plowing through, the emo girlfriend accidentally slips on the sand and falls her head near the nail gun, and it like shoots her up and unloads into her. It's like, I guess death is holding the trigger down because he's like shooting her like 20 times.
Yeah.
Say the opposite of these words. Always stay and take me down.
Okay.
Oh, you're the best. You forgot to mention Frankie. Oh, I'm trying to remember who was Frankie. I did mention him. He's the guy who gets his head cut by the engine.
Okay.
Yeah, that was his name.
Yeah. Death was part of a prank photo of a giant fan behind him.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, there was
how-
another. There was
Alright.
a foreshadowing death.
Yeah, of course.
The sister, like Wendy finds out that her sister snuck on the roller coaster and was one of the victims to die and she has a photo of her with like a horse in the background. And we find out like there's a really expensive 4th of July carnival that's happening, and of course the sister is going there, and they
Yeah.
have Paul Revere and riding a horse in there as
Okay.
they have a really expensive production of the Revolution. So
Nice.
yeah, they're apparently the sister sneaks out to go to the carnival because she wants to live life.
Yeah.
And this is the first one where we get a pseudo-human antagonist, because the emo kid, Styx, basically has a meltdown after his girlfriend died and blames Wendy for it, where he completely snaps and stalks her in this last half of the movie. Basically wants to kill her for revenge.
Okay.
And Wendy, like, thinks that he's going to be the one who kills her because in her picture, she has, like, there's, like, a McKinley jersey or something, and that's the emo kid's name.
Yeah.
Because he cries that he's named after the stupid school. I'd name of one of the roller coaster victims in case you were wondering.
Yeah, you said that earlier.
Yeah, are you Frankie or Lewis or Carter?
Because you're definitely not McKinley.
Yeah, you said that.
That's the only thing we have.
Not sure you're Wendy or whatever if you're a girl. Basically, the girl Wendy finally realizes that, oh, you can stop death by intervening because she saved McKinley, which proved to be a mistake because now he wants to kill her. She also calls, like, the former douche bro guy who's working security there that he's going to die because there's, like, a lens flare or something. He'll die by a fire, and there's fireworks here. And basically, he's trying to prevent his own death and trying to find her sister. There's, like, a race to the finish. They're trying to help save the sister and all the other survivors. And the McKinley's stalking her and trying to get her at this carnival with a bunch of witnesses, I guess. And the sister, there's a funny scene where the sister, like, gets her, like, the horse has a freak out and its saddle strap wraps around her neck and drags her, like, for miles. And it doesn't kill her instantly. She's, like, being dragged by the throat. And the douche bro saves her just in time by cutting her loose. Basically intervening and saving her. And then McKinley chases and the horse causes, like, fireworks to go off. And it kills, like, the sister's random friend who had no character. Like, the fireworks, like, one of the poles, like, falls and stabs into her friend.
Yeah. Fun fact, the girl who played Perry never made a single sound before and after she was stabbed by the flagpole. Not even when she was stabbed.
Yeah, she doesn't talk. She doesn't have a dialogue. And
that is insane to
she
get
gets shanked and I guess dies in an instant by the falling pole. Then McKinley shows up and basically, like, after the crowd runs away because the fireworks cause the whole place to start catching fire and crashing and burning, McKinley tries to kill her because he blames her for, like, his girlfriend's death and stalks her and realizes that he has to be the one who kills her and ends Death's streak. But then we get another funny death where all the fireworks go off and nearly hit the kids, and Styx declares that he's off Death's list, and then the sign, the billboard, breaks down from the debris and falls and crushes Styx like a bug, killing him. And basically, this is the twist where basically, Wendy was supposed to die that death, but Styx's attempts to kill her accidentally intervene, and he dies the death that was meant for her.
Nice.
And yeah, he gets his comeuppance and dies. And I believe they think they won because they broke the streak.
Right.
Like, they all intervene, they all survive the picture deaths. And everything is coming up Millhouse. They all are at, like, college. We get a time skip. And then we get our twist ending. So they're all on, like, New York in the subway, and all three of them conveniently meet, and the subway is the 180. And they realize, oh no, Death is after them again.
And
and
there's all the advertisements that are about the previous deaths too.
Yeah, and all the omens are there, and basically the subway gets into a crash, killing everyone, and Wendy, like, barely survives, only to get run over by an oncoming train. And then we find out a double twist. That was actually a premonition, where it happens again, because Death wanted to double kill her for escaping.
I think they also got Tony Todd to be the voice for
the subway announcer.
That's
Yeah, because that's it. Yeah, that pretty much proves he's Death.
Yep.
And yeah, Wendy double dies, and there's apparently a camp who thinks she might be alive.
No.
I guess if she rolled her broken body out of the way. But
yeah, there's no way.
It's Wolfen time.
Hello, Emily. Glad you could make it.
You finally made it. Too bad we're, like, halfway through. Fun fact, the girl who played... Oh, wait, we saw that one?
Yeah, the newest one was Emily.
Yeah, the girl who played Perry. She's just a complete random extra who dies an extra death. So yeah, that was Final Destination 3. It had its really stupid moments, but it also had some pretty good moments, mostly for the dark comedy. This is where they fully embrace the campy, dark humor factor.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like this one. I get entertainment value from it, definitely.
That's fair.
However, I do agree that it also is stupid and over the top, and
Yeah.
it's basically you're kind of rooting for some characters to die.
Yeah.
But I actually thought this has the weakest protagonist. I thought Wendy was kind of a bitch too, because she's angsty and she's mean a lot. She's like mean to the douche bro guy,
Okay.
and she like completely blows off some characters.
Yeah.
Like the blonde girls are actually nice to her and invite her to the tanning salon with them, but she like rather rudely doesn't go and ignores them.
Okay.
And one point, like the douche bro's like talking about cartoons, and she like says it's so sad you watch SpongeBob because he mentioned like he lived underwater.
Okay.
And it's like, who doesn't know SpongeBob lives underwater? Okay, I'm back from my date. Oh, good to
Nice.
have you taking time off. We're debating where to put the third one.
I could
It's
see a B.
B, really?
I could, yeah.
Like, I almost want to put it in A rank just because
Really?
it's funny and there
Yeah,
are pretty cool
but
kills.
It's because B's that kind of middle area where it's like,
Yeah,
there is still some good, but most of it is just like, eh.
third one is definitely a mixed bag. Plenty to like, plenty of dumb. There are better ones, but I would still watch this over
Oh,
4.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
definitely.
everyone would.
Of course.
It also has love the tanning bed scene. That was
Yeah.
one of my favorites, and the roller coaster scene was brutal.
Yep. I also love 9/11. Just
Yeah, the
showing
9/11
up.
truther, all
That's
the
the
conspiracy.
most hilarious thing about this film.
So
I think.
over the top, yeah. Bad thing, there's a lot of unlikable characters, a lot of stupid ass characters, and
Right.
Tony Todd's barely in this one. He's just a
Yeah.
voiceover, and it is a bit questionable how they got off of Death's list.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the twist, like, the stick suffers her death, which was supposed to kill her, and
Yeah.
accidentally intervenes while trying to kill her.
But then he comes back with the trains.
Whoa, I never knew you guys went live. Awesome. We've been live for like 3 times now.
I know, right? Yeah, a couple times. Surprising.
Yeah,
My day
Wolf
was so...
deleted the old streams.
Yes,
Why?
because I wanted to.
Uh,
That's it.
well, we're keeping the tier lists up, definitely, so people can stop questioning us.
Okay.
Like, what do you think, Wolf? Do you know anything about 3 from what you saw?
Other than the kills, not really.
Like, I want to put it in A, actually, but it might be a B.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I wanted to ask the comments section what they
Okay.
thought.
Also, like, it's your date. Like, that's your personal thing. I
Alright.
I hope it went well. If it went short,
use
it
the
doesn't
restroom.
sound like it, unfortunately. Or it just went extremely well, and that's why it was so short. D. Yeah, I get. Wait, really? A D for this? With the way Kat's saying, it sounds like there's some things he liked about it. So yeah, that's why I think more of B, because like I'm middle on it, and from the video, it's like, yeah, that's kind of where the How to Survive guys I think were as well. It's just average. It unfortunately seems to be like following the trend of horror films, where it's just like, all right, you just want to see the slasher kill a bunch of dumb idiots. That I've always hated that trend, and it sounds like that's where 3 is at the moment. It's reaching that turning point of just pure gore. You want to see everyone die. You don't want to see like the story. It's just everyone loves the deaths, basically. And I know the Final Destination is also kind of like that, unfortunately. Welcome back.
Cat.
I said welcome back.
I'm back.
A, B, C, D, E, F. Yeah, I'll just put it everywhere.
Actually, might put it in B then.
Yeah.
This one was okay. Had good, but also had the warning signs that the franchise was starting to fall off.
Yeah, as I said, it's reaching the turning point of horror where it's like it hyper emphasizes the gore.
Have you seen the Goldbergs? Because Sean from I'm Not Martin is the lead. Yeah, someone told me about that. I did not watch that show.
Okay.
Which gets us to the best one, the Final Destination.
Yep, the one that was supposed to be the end, and is technically the end in the canonical order.
Yeah, this is pretty much the 4th one. This is the NASCAR accident
Yep,
one.
which is another one that is still realistic, I'd say, but it goes over the top, of course.
Fine. Final Destination 4. Yep, we're at there, Shadow Link.
People die if they are killed. Yep, they sure are, Emi Yashido.
Well, I see Too Much of a Thousand Ways to Die. Have you guys heard of that? Yeah, I've heard of the show, never watched it.
Yeah, I've also heard of the film A Thousand Ways to Die in the Old West.
Why did they have to put "the" in the title, not "for"?
Because, again, it's supposed to be the end.
Yeah, this was supposed to be the final chapter.
Exactly.
It was the end of an era, but apparently it sucked and they wanted a do-over movie. Yeah.
Love the "why can't we be friends" moment. That's right.
That's right.
I actually thought that was edited in by the video. I could not tell.
It was actually in the movie.
Of course it was, because I know the dev.
Okay, so unfortunately we got to talk about the plot. This is the one where a new group of teenagers, I think they're teenagers, it might be college kids actually.
There's definitely like an adult among them, I swear.
Yeah, they look pretty older. They're like in their 20s, but yeah, college kids this time, I'll say. They're at the NASCAR race, basically watching the action up front.
Yep.
And we meet the colorful characters in the audience this time. There's the racist redneck, everyone's favorite character. There's the redneck mechanic. There's the cowboy guy. They're like pretty much deep in the South.
Yeah, well, it's NASCAR. It's like Kentucky.
There's his idiot friends, the idiot girl, the pervy guy, and his bland girlfriend. Yeah. Basically, the characters in this are very forgettable.
Yeah, it's basically about the deaths again.
Yeah, it is all about just watching them die. Yeah. They're at NASCAR, and basically an accident happens where one of the car's parts accidentally breaks off because it left the pit crew station too early and of course fell in the middle of the road apparently because death. Then a car gets into an accident, flips down, goes flying into the audience stand, causing like a complete collapse.
Yep.
And everyone's running out, and unfortunately, this is where the 3D really took over.
Of course.
We get all these in-your-face graphic deaths, and if you're not watching this in a theater in 3D, the effects look awful.
Yeah.
It is like full-blown CGI. This is hated because it's the most fakest looking Final Destination movie.
Yeah.
Like, they are not convincing. Like, there's debris falling on people, and they look like they're squashed flat like cartoons.
Yeah.
At one point, like, an engine flies out and crushes a woman, and it makes, like, this Looney Tune bonk sound when it kills her.
It's a chunk of metal.
Feels more like college kids. Not very likable characters, which is pretty much just about every character, either terrible or forgettable.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely the worst effects in the series. Thankfully, it was supposed to be the end.
I wonder what Final Destination in the early 1900s would be like.
Probably train accidents.
Yeah, that'd be creative. Like locomotive derails.
Right, there's also horse carriages and stuff like that. Guns.
And you could play Love Train again. That was the best song.
Of course it was.
So, of course, it turns out the NASCAR accident was all a premonition of our main character, whose name I can't even remember because he was that bland.
It's a guy.
Yeah, it's a guy again. He's pretty much a knockoff Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like kind of the same, the awkward kid who no one believes. And he has a vision. He warns everybody that there's going to be an accident, and of course a fight breaks out because he like pisses off the redneck guys and
I think
brawl.
He like spilled something on him or something. He tells his girlfriend to stay there and chase him out.
Yeah, and they all run out and get taken out by security. They ask what the hell is going on, and then the NASCAR accident happens, like this time in literal seconds.
Yeah.
And then the Coliseum breaks down, the racist guy loses his wife.
Yeah.
And exactly how he got a wife in the first place.
I think it was like my girlfriend.
Yeah, someone he was dating.
Yeah, something like that.
The opening credits were pretty awesome, though. Yeah, the music is definitely the highlight in these movies, even the bad ones.
Okay.
So it causes the accident, and this time we get kind of varied reactions to not Alex. Like, some people believe him, some people think he's a fraud. I don't think the FBI comes back in this one. I think it's next one.
Okay.
They like hold a memorial, and we actually see people grieving this time. So I'll give credit
there's actually a second death that you're skipping over at the NASCAR. The tire shooting out and crushing the girl when she's like with the girl.
That's right. The mechanic's wife gets killed by that. Sorry, the characters are so forgettable.
I just remember because I remember that from the video.
Yeah, someone actually dies instantly from death this time.
Right.
Like a tire falls out in a fake effect and crushes her. And the mechanic becomes angsty and grieving. They all hold a funeral. There's one character I like, the black security guard, who's he's actually a useful adult character in these movies for once. he totally believes not Alex's warnings this time, and he's like looking at the security footage and thinking like, yeah, how'd he know? And that exact accident pretty much happened, and he realizes he was right.
But of course, he also stopped the racist guy from getting to his wife or girlfriend.
Right, and the
so
racist guy, of course, blames him and is
Yep.
after him for some reason.
Yep.
By the way, you ever rank the Goosebumps ones? Just want to let you know, I pretty much love them all. Yes, even the bad ones. Well, maybe not all of them.
Okay.
We haven't finished reviewing Goosebumps, so that's
Yeah.
gonna be a tier list for another time. Yeah, her head gets crushed by a random tire.
Yep.
Yeah, that was in all the trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one has a lot more over-the-top deaths.
What are you talking about? You don't like the scene where the racist redneck basically gets lynched by his own truck and set on fire?
Yeah, that guy is like the next kill. He's like, he like stalks the black guy so he can burn crosses on his lawn.
Yeah, he just puts the burning crosses of the KKK on his front lawn.
Death intervenes and like gets him snagged on his tow
pickup
truck. Yeah, and he's like literally being dragged and cornered by the truck, and
Yep.
it plays "Why Can't We Be Friends" on his radio to rub salt in the wounds,
Yep.
and it's the funniest scene in the whole movie.
Yeah.
It drags him like, you know, like how they executed black guys, and crashes and sets him on fire like what he was gonna do.
And then like either his head or his like face comes off and it lands on the guy's lawn anyways.
Put it on C or D, lower if there is one. This one, it might be D, honestly.
Definitely. There's no way it's not D. I'm not letting you put it at anything higher.
Yeah, this
Even
one
though it's hilarious, it's bad.
We'll put it on D, but we still gotta talk about it.
Of course.
Okay, so basically they realize that, oh, this is like the Alex Browning case and all the others because it's happening again, and there's like a pattern to how they died in the NASCAR crash.
Yep.
Because like the racist guy and his girl both got crushed first when the car flipped out. So, not Alex is trying to crack the case, and unfortunately, the characters are not as funny and, of course, not likable in this one, so you don't really care, and a lot of their deaths are kind of played for laughs.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, there's also, like, this, mother character who survived, and she goes to, like, the salon to get her hair cut, and there are so many fake outs, because, like, there's a lot of sharp objects, and she's on a broken chair while the guy is, like, trimming her.
Yep.
She almost gets stabbed by the scissors.
Yep.
And, like, a shelf almost falls on her with chemicals that could have caught fire.
Of course.
But no, she makes it out A-okay, and as she's walking out the door talking to her kids, a lawnmower trimming the grass outside accidentally sends a rock flying and like headshots her.
Yeah. Well, don't forget the thing you said before was that she has her eye on like her kids, and then I think it's like through the eyes is how she dies.
The pool scene. We'll get to that one soon.
Okay.
When you said that you enjoyed my company last time, was that sarcasm? No, it wasn't.
Yeah, no.
Yes, the hair salon scene. Ends up getting killed by a rock in the eye.
Yeah,
that was just pure random.
Yeah.
And also, the CGI did not look good.
Of course not.
It's weird. James A. Janice actually pointed out they did have practical effects for some, but they had to put digital to make them look better, only to make them look worse.
Right. Well, it's also definitely part of the 3D craze. They're probably forced to do some of that.
Right. Not Alex, his girlfriend, and the security guard basically become a group and try to crack this case. They go to the mechanic guy's place, and he's like trying to bury himself in work after his wife was killed by a tire.
Yeah.
And he doesn't believe in this stuff and thinks that, he'll probably die peacefully. Spoilers, he doesn't.
Of course not.
Because while he's working at the garage, he also gets a really stupid fake-looking death where one of the car oxygen tanks goes off, goes flying, and pushes like a hole while he's against a fence and slices him through the fence holes.
I was not expecting it to go
where he's
that
like
way.
meat grinded in the torso or something.
You know, I thought it would just gut him basically. No, that just sounds weirder.
Like, it is weird. Like, it like punctures him and meat grinds him through a chain fence. It looks so fake too,
Yeah,
because they of course needed the 3D effect.
Yeah.
And yeah, he dies too, and we realize Death isn't going to go easy on them
All part
again.
of his sadistic plan.
It's like, what, we're only on the 4th movie?
Well, look, they haven't seen the other films.
The black security guard actually tries killing himself and realizes, nope, he can't die. And he's actually hung himself, and he's just, like, the kids come, they think he's dead, and he reveals, nope, I'm alive. Can you help me down from here? It's like, I've been trying to kill myself all day, and nothing. It's just awkwardly funny. By the way, if an episode gets a perfect skull, how about a platinum skull instead of a gold? Yeah, people have told me that all the time. Oh, yeah, and the torso, like, it was definitely another dumb death. Yeah, I agree, Shadowlink. Yeah. It looked so fake, too. It's worse because they used a dummy for that, and they needed to CGI more blood onto him, and yeah, that didn't help.
Okay.
So, the numbers actually dwindle a bit faster in this movie, too. It is, like, only an hour and 20 minutes.
Okay.
Because they pretty much made it all about the kills by this point.
Yeah, they're just basically cheaping out.
They find out that the cowboy guy also survived, but he's, like, hospitalized after the debris crushed him. So, they think if they can save his life, that'll intervene.
Right.
And they go to the hospital, and another dumb death happens here, where basically the guy's, like, strapped on life support under a room which has a pool above it, where they're apparently filling up the pool and for like this old senior citizen guy, and Death intervenes and like makes the water like keep flowing, and it starts overflowing the toilet, and the cowboy, like, they try to rush to the guy's room, and the cowboy guy gets crushed by the ceiling and the pool falling because it's so heavy.
Yeah.
And that kills him.
Okay.
It's like, really? Alright, Wolf's gotta take a break. Death, death, devil, 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 evil, evil, evil songs. Yeah, Emily, you really love that. So, if you haven't seen, we're obviously giving the Final Destination a D because it's the dumbest one. Basically, they tried cracking the case again. They pad this thing out. One thing I didn't mention is that the final guy in this movie is actually played by the teacher from Scream the series. This is like before he became like a quote-unquote horror icon. I think the main character is mostly bland and forgettable in this one because it's obvious they're trying to make him a copy of Alex. The scene that old racist man said was a bit racist. Oh, yeah. Yeah, basically the senior citizen guy, as he's bathing, he's telling his Asian nurse, I killed most of you in Korea. It's just another racist character. I don't know why. They found racist jokes really humorous in this one. It's just, it made me laugh because of how cringy and awkward it is. Like, wow, we're really in the South, huh? And there's like a racist around every corner. Also, his girlfriend was in The Flash Season 2, I believe. Oh, okay, she was. Gotta look up who that was then. Yeah, I know the final guy was the teacher on Scream the series, the one who was... He's the cool hipster teacher who's a possible suspect because he has a dark secret. And he had, like, an affair with one of the students.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the final guy in this one. The only one who had a huge career after this movie. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, this one's so bad, Tony Todd doesn't even appear in it. Yeah, Tony Todd is not in the fourth one. Ironic for the finale.
Yeah.
This had another funny death where basically not Alex and the black security guard are leaving the hospital, and out of nowhere, the black guy dies getting hit by the bus.
I forgot that was this film.
Yeah, they brought the bus back to kill him. And it is much more abrupt, too, because he's killed mid-sentence. And it sucks because I actually like this guy, too, so there goes the only likable character in this film.
Yep.
So yeah, he's like killed and the final act starts, where he finally pieces together that intervention can stop these, and his girlfriend and one of her friends are going to see a horror movie. And the movie gets like this jokey kind of meta, leaning on the fourth wall kind of setup. It's like, yeah, they're going to a movie theater, a horror movie that's also 3D. And apparently there's a construction zone on the other side where
Yeah.
Death intervenes and he's like setting up an explosion.
Yep.
And yeah, not Alex gets there to save his girlfriend and her idiot friend. And basically, he triggers an explosion which launches, well, it's a 3D effect is happening at
Right.
the same time. And it burns everyone in the theater, but he saves his girlfriend just in time. They go like running from a collapsing mall and...
Jeez.
While the building's like falling apart because that explosion was just so huge, they like go up an escalator, but then the escalator breaks and the girlfriend
Opens
like
up as
falls in
well,
like
yeah.
the gears and gets shredded.
Yep.
But we get a twist. It was a second premonition that hasn't actually happened yet.
Yep. But unfortunately, the security guard still dies after he sees it.
Yeah, he still gets hit by the bus twice.
Yeah, he tries. At least they didn't show it on the second time.
Yeah.
You just hear it.
Would you rather watch Final Destination 4 or The Room?
The
Oh.
room.
I would do Final Destination 4 because it's shorter by an hour.
Really. I think the room would just be hilarious.
Oh,
Well,
Blacksmith Orange, you made it.
Glad you can make it to the final destination.
Yeah, we're on the fourth one, technically. Oh, Akira, he made it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this was going to
Yeah.
be a short one because we're almost done.
Shredded.
Yeah, the girlfriend got shredded in the
Yeah.
escalator, and it looks so bad.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
more bad effects. They like...
Right.
Her blood like turns into a blob goo or something. Yeah, it was a second premonition, and he tries going to the theater to prevent it again, and this leads to one of the dumbest scenes in the movie where I swear he tries to save her, and the girl's friend says, "No, I'm not leaving. I want to watch this movie,"
Yeah.
and she's willing to die
Yeah.
just to watch her stupid movie, and
Yeah.
it is so stupid. It's like pretty much the point where they stop taking themselves seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, and the first film released in my lifetime.
Oh, jeez. Are there 2 deleted endings that was considered too
Stupid even for this
That's
film.
insane.
Oh, man. Put 5 out of C. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
Also, I did have fun with Antakama birthday
That's
last
a
week.
character from Persona 5.
Okay. I don't play that, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
I've seen people play it.
So yeah, the girl doesn't leave because she wants to watch her stupid movie and would risk death, which,
Yep.
you know, again, made me hate her. So he tries to prevent the explosion from happening, basically, where he rushes to the construction site, which is conveniently unguarded
Yep.
and not boarded up. And he's trying to stop the explosion while Death is also trying to fight him to cause the explosion.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's doing more Rube Goldberg's kind of stuff, and he gets pinned by, like, the nail gun, apparently.
Yep.
And it's just so weird. He's like fighting an invisible entity trying
Yeah.
to cause it. And miraculously, he succeeds and
Yeah.
prevents the explosion and somehow doesn't die himself.
Nah. Well, yeah. Well, because no explosion happens because he stops it through the.
But he got like
Fire.
super
Well,
injured
yeah, he
too.
got injured, but he's not gonna die from that.
Right, I know, it pinned his hand.
Exactly.
Just avoid the fourth one. The rest are good or at least enjoyable. Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
And so they all live, he intervened, and then we get our twist ending, where we find out, actually, no, they didn't live because they finally pick up on the pattern that they weren't dying the way they were planned.
Yep.
And then they all get hit by a bus while at Starbucks. And it's like this Mortal Kombat
Yeah.
X-ray kind of death. This really loved that effect because the end credits have all the Mortal Kombat X-ray kills
jeez,
of
okay.
every kill in the series because it was the finale.
Okay.
And
That's
yeah,
neat at least.
basically a bunch of characters we don't grow attached to or care about
Yeah.
die, and that was kind of weak.
Yep. Death wins.
Yeah,
The end.
death wins, yeah. All this for the finale, and it's easily the most generic one in the entire series. I think it's forgettable.
Yeah.
Oh, I also forgot to mention the pool death.
You did bring that up though.
Yeah, briefly. I'll mention it again.
Yeah. What
just
else?
for a second.
What else do you have to talk about? The guy getting crushed and the old
The pool.
racist man.
No, there was a second pool death.
There was a second pool death in
Yeah,
the
the-
same film.
Yeah, the horn dog best friend who he works as a lifeguard at a pool, and basically they go to different places to try and prevent their friends' deaths. He like goes to like try and find him. The lifeguard like apparently he's trying to fix like a faulty pool, and he goes underneath, but Death intervenes and activates like the suction pump in the pool, and it traps him on the bottom where that hole is.
Yeah.
And basically sucks out his insides, out his like anus, and it bleeds like all through the pool pump and splatters his blood and intestines everywhere.
Jeez, okay.
Yeah, and not Alex couldn't find him because he was submerged underwater.
Of course. I mean, it's definitely creative.
It's like everyone loves it because it's the only creative kill in this movie.
Yeah.
I thought the racist guy's death was funnier though.
Yeah, but it's definitely supposed to evoke a lynching is the other part of that problem.
It's also the most unrealistic too, which was the problem.
I don't know, I think the tire flying in the exact arc to hit the girlfriend in the beginning was more unrealistic.
No, we're not there yet, Akira, but yeah, he mentions the Buddha statue kill.
Okay.
I believe he went in for his coin because it was lucky or something. Yeah, that might have been it.
Okay.
That kill at least sounds fun. Yeah, where the pool sucks him out. Any S rank? Yeah, we got Final Destination 2 is S rank.
That's why I scrolled up.
Number 1 is A. It does have some flaws. B is the okay one. And D is the doggy do, the Final Destination. Yep. Yeah, it is the worst one. I recommend skipping this one. You honestly don't need to see it at all. And Tony Todd's not even in it.
Yeah.
Which makes it even worse because he was the best actor in all these movies.
Yeah.
But I guess that takes us to the real finale.
Yep.
Final Destination 5.
We use Wolf and Friends Gaming Channel, which it's basically dead. I don't use it for anything. Cat barely uses it.
I post some videos on there, but not a lot.
Exactly. So it's basically gone.
Wolf hasn't done a gaming stream in years.
No.
You should.
Nah.
Why not?
I just don't want
to. You don't wanna?
Nope.
I know, the entertainment is the one that's happening. I post some videos on there if they're gaming related.
Okay.
Like I posted my Darkstalkers tier on there.
Okay.
And I use it to gather Cinematic Venom's lost videos.
I see.
At least for now, since I keep hearing they're making a 6th movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, allegedly. If anything, that film needs to be in the Z section. Yeah, I think the Final Destination was bad, but honestly, I have seen way worse horror movies.
That's fair.
It's just stupid bad.
Yeah, it's the worst in its franchise.
Yeah. But let's finally talk about the grand finale so far, the 5th one.
Yep.
This is the one with the bridge accident.
Yep. That horrifying accident.
Yeah, this one, James Wan finally came back and basically course-corrected the series, but I would say not by much because it still has some of the flaws.
Of course.
Yeah, basically, we follow another new group of characters. This time they are college students, and they all are, like, on this paper company, and they're going on, like, a trip.
Okay.
They get on, like, a work bus, basically, to go, and it goes across this bridge.
That's, like, still under construction, I believe.
Yeah, we meet the colorful cast of characters. They're all going across the bridge, and the construction, Death intervenes and causes the accident, where the bridge, like, falls apart, and they're all, like, some of them are on the bus and die, and some of them try and get out and make it across one of the bridge sides alive, only to die pretty gruesome deaths. Like, I remember one guy, like, trying to get out, gets covered in tar.
Oh, God.
And, like, he burns and then falls down and splatters on one of the bars.
Right.
One girl actually gets impaled on a boat underneath.
Yeah.
She falls. Another guy gets, like, stabbed by rebars.
Yep. I think there's another girl that lands in the water, but then a car falls on her.
Yeah, just when she made it, then the car crushes her dead. Another one, like, I remember one falls, but didn't even make it in the water. She falls on, like, one of the land holding the posts up.
Yeah.
Definitely a huge step up. Better characters for the most part, better deaths, and a very interesting ending coming full circle with the series.
Yeah. It also introduces a new thing to the formula. But we'll get to that later.
I hope the 6th makes it honor of Tony Todd. Yeah, they probably will. Also like how hot tar burns a man's face.
Yeah, well, it is hot tar. That is insanely hot things.
Right. Then, of course, the main character realizes it's a premonition and has a freak out and has everyone get off the bus. They all get off, and then the bridge collapses, and they realize he was right, and all the work staff survive, and there are characters this time, / victims. And, yeah, this time, This time there's a lot more mixed reactions again, or some believe him, some don't. Some, like, a lot of them just, like, go on with their lives, which makes...
yeah, it's just an event that happened.
Right, like, they wrote it off as an event, because this time it wasn't, like, that huge a supernatural event.
Right.
But it is pretty cool effect-wise. This one also still has the 3D, basically,
Yeah.
so yeah, there's a lot of crap flying at you. And as they try resuming life, we meet the characters. There's, the main guy, who's another Alex Browning type of character, but much, a little older and wiser. There's his girlfriend, there's his bro best friend, there's the bro's best friend girlfriend who's a gymnast, apparently.
Oh, God, that's right.
There's the dick boss who's played by the jerk uncle from the Krampus movies.
Okay.
I learned that from James A. Janice. He's apparently, he has a role playing grouchy old guys,
Yeah,
basically.
I feel like I've seen him in other things.
Yeah, he almost
can't
looked like
remember.
Bill, too, from King
Yeah.
of the Hill. Yeah. There's the black guy who's the smart nerd. Apparently, he's like a tech guy at the company.
Yeah.
And, oh, Wolf will love this, Bull Lin from Legend of Korra is in this
Really?
as the horny weird guy.
Okay.
He's like the comic relief. Bull Lin is in this, and he's the most annoying character in the movie, of course, because he can't catch a break.
He's one of the students or one of the workers?
He's one of the workers. He's like the fat guy with glasses.
Okay.
He goes to the massage parlor.
I don't think I saw that death.
Yeah, he's
Fortunately.
there, and there's also this hot chick with glasses. She wants LASIK so she doesn't
Yeah.
need the glasses and looks
LASIK
hot.
Eye center.
It's like she looks pretty though.
Yeah, well, it's just for the eye. It's just to correct vision.
Right. And yeah, these are basically our wacky characters this time, and
Yep.
they actually, like, they try to return to the first movie where they're all trying to live lives and unnatural events happen at any time which could kill them. They wanted to return to that horror.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one is actually mostly serious. There are some dark comedy movies, but it is back to being a scary movie.
Yeah, although there is one kill that I would say is definitely dark comedy.
Let's go. Legend of Korra, whoa.
Yeah.
Legend of Korra sucks, Emily. You need to
know.
swallow that bitter pill.
What's some of Wolf's favorite movies I want to do? I really don't have a whole lot, unfortunately. And I can barely remember most of them.
Yeah, why'd you forget Actors in the Magic School Bus? Yeah, because I don't keep up with that anymore, man.
Yeah, it's so far in the past.
What are some of Wolf's favorite movies? I want to do a birthday review.
I can't remember a whole lot. I think you did Enemy at the Gates already. That's basically it.
Oh, Wolf
That's
hasn't...
what I can remember.
Or Blacksmith Orange hasn't done Terminator 2 Judgment Day yet.
I mean, yeah, but that's just like a universally good movie.
What about...
I would say that's a favorite.
What about Aliens?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
even then, I feel like that's another universal one.
Batman Under the Red Hood?
Okay, yeah, that's one.
Yeah, that's the one. Blacksmith Orange could do that. Under the
Yeah.
Red Hood. Have you seen what they've done to the Magic School Bus? Yeah, Phantom Strider showed me the terrible reboot.
I
Miss-
heard things too.
Yeah, the classic teacher just hands it off to a new teacher and says
It's like
goodbye.
yeah, it's like her sister or something.
Yeah, who's pretty much an identical character in every way.
Plus, she's hip.
Yeah, she's modern and nobody likes her because she
Right.
also can't, her voice actress can't act. So, Under the Red Hood it is. Very good movie,
Okay.
one of Wolf's favorite Batman movies of all time.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, they basically try to relive their life and they all die like very realistic accidents again this time. Well, mostly realistic. Yeah.
There are some where it's kind of...
There are some, let's see, I'm trying to remember who was the first
Was
to
it the
die.
gymnast?
I think it's the gymnast.
Yeah,
She,
and
like,
God, that scene is intense.
that scene was the most intense they've had in a while. Where
Yeah.
The gymnast girlfriend is like having her like final competition trials basically, and Death makes like a screw fall from like an unit up above on
Yeah.
and like lands perfectly
On
on
the
the
balance
gymnast
beam.
balance beams.
Yeah, my
and like her
God.
feet are like nearing it.
Yeah,
She's doing all her
she
tricks.
keeps moving around it. Yes, like jeez, it's shot
It's
beautifully.
shot. It's very scary and it fakes us out. She doesn't step on it.
Right.
But she moves on to the next obstacle and another gymnast girl ends up stepping on it, falling over, triggering a Rube Goldberg accident, and it
Yeah.
kills the gymnast like mid-flip and twists her body in this
Oh.
gross form.
Yeah, the landing is gory.
It's
Oh,
on Tubi too. Expect a video soon.
Okay.
gymnast was, and man, did she get a gruesome death.
Yeah,
Okay, we're right.
God.
Yeah,
That's something I do think is realistic because I always worry about that when I've ever seen.
Yeah,
gymnasts
falling
do
on
this.
gym equipment.
No, not even. She missing the landing so horribly, you just like snap your neck.
Right,
Although
her
this one is of course
bones
more
are
gratuitous.
twisted, and you see like
it's just horrible.
it was gross and gnarly.
Yeah, I said I don't do well with horror and horror kills, and Final Destination is all of that.
Yeah, I rarely
So-
rewatched this one because of that scene.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah, she dies and her boyfriend like starts grieving and sort of becomes the new McKinley, but
Yeah.
he gets more of a proper arc.
Yeah. And yes, we see the hearts coming out. There's like 5 different ones you can put. I know there's the.
We see the
100.
hearts, yeah.
I
Jim,
think that's
yeah,
Simon
that was a
doing
gruesome
dumb.
death. And basically, the guy figures it out because she died in a similar manner as she died on the bridge. Basically, it's like
Yeah.
sort of copying their bridge deaths this
Right.
time. So he's like trying to crack the case and solve the pattern and remembering who died in what order. Basically, he
Right,
catches
which is
on
not
faster.
an easy thing to do.
Yeah, then the characters are starting to relive their lives and trying to move on. We see Bolin goes to like the sauna because he had like a coupon or something, and he acts like a kind of a racist dickhead because like he's like trolling the Asian ladies and thinking they don't speak English, but actually they do.
Okay.
They like give him like acupuncture,
Oh, jeez.
and he's like laying there and death intervenes and causes him to fall and stab the needles further into him, which
Oh, jeez.
yeah, I remember this was in the trailers.
Okay.
Like death like breaks the table he's laying on, and I do not think they would stab right through him so easily
definitely
like
not.
that. But
The
yeah,
acupuncture needles are kind of thin and small.
yeah, they hurt, and he's stabbed there trying to crawl away, and he's like slipping on like the massage oil that's spilling all over the
course.
room, and he's trying to reach up and. A Buddha statue falls off the top and crushes his skull, and
Nice.
it's a joke because he was so annoying and wouldn't shut up, and the Buddha statue brought peace.
Okay.
And it kills Bolin.
Nice.
Good, he deserved it.
Okay. I'm kind of glad I didn't see that one.
Have you played Outlast?
I actually own that on Steam, but I'm never gonna play it. It is a horror game that is too scary for me, even if it's not as horrifying for others.
Jim Steen created a foot fetish.
I don't think so. That just sounds like some idiot online.
Dan Schneider?
Yeah. Because like the way it's shot is definitely to show how close her feet are to the nail. It's to show the present danger and that at any moment, if she makes one misstep, she can just stab herself on a nail.
Yeah, they're pretty gruesome deaths in this one.
Yeah.
Then we follow the hot chick at her LASIK surgery.
Yeah.
She's like gonna get like the lasers in her eye to have perfect vision.
Exactly.
Then, for very unrealistically, the doctor leaves her alone, and this time Alex has figured out from the news that they're dying in the order, and he tries to go save her. The laser beam gets triggered by death.
Yeah,
assume.
and then like overcharges and starts to burn
laser
her eye.
eye,
Yeah.
basically like Star Wars style,
Yeah.
and like basically like scorches her, and she falls out, and like she falls out the window. I think.
Yeah,
and
I think she like slips on something.
she's like breaking out of there from the pain, and
yeah, she
she
was asking
falls,
for
and one of her
help.
eyes like pops out. At
The other one, yeah.
them.
And then it gets crushed by a car.
Another pretty horrifying scene. Yeah. It's hard to decide if the Grim Reaper in general is a villain or not.
I mean, it definitely is.
He looks scary, but can you really fault him for doing this? Lights Out basically Outlast before Outlast existed.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a horror game in a mental facility
Then,
for the
like,
first one.
Then after the girl's death, we at last re-meet Tony Todd, who's back in the saga as the coroner.
Yep.
This time we actually see him picking up the bodies.
Yep, actually doing his job and not just being in his lair.
And yeah, this one pretty much confirms that he actually is Death, because this time he tells him that, oh, there is a way you can survive. You can kill somebody to trade their life and extend your own.
Yeah, which is definitely an interesting thing to do with the plot.
Yeah, he's basically like taking a sacrifice in your place.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, kind of sketchy too. Is this like encouraging people to kill others?
I think it is, yeah.
Hang on, I gotta use the restroom.
Okay. I can kind of carry on from here. Because I know. Fair enough. Remember for kind of just doing his job? Yeah, definitely. Here's something that interested me about the place the victim dies. Wouldn't they be shut down forever because someone dies in their business? It's not like they signed away. As it depends. There's some where it's like it can be. I know there's one kill. It's like it could definitely be a workplace accident. They could get sued, but I would not say they could get shut down. Only unless it's like that bad of a lawsuit. Grim Reaper ain't evil. Blue Oyster Cult told me that with some cowbell. That is great song. That one is. Enjoy your P-Cat double hearts. Yeah. Trying to think. My brain really fails to work a lot. Hope your date was better than mine. Yeah, tell me about it. I wish Cat could get a date too. What else is there to say about the kills? I'm trying to remember from a video on all the kills, and I cannot remember the order of events, unfortunately. But I do know that if you kill someone else, you basically get a lengthened life, which again is a very interesting thing, because there is like I can see the logic that could lead to it from the previous films of like, oh hey, you've skipped over this person, you've kind of added to your own life, kind of thing. Hi Wolfie, hello Emily.
Hey Emily. I see now.
I got a fever, and the other prescription is more
cowbell.
They were talking about the Blue Oyster Cult song.
Okay, so yeah, basically Tony Todd is actually pretty good in this movie because it's like a full blown he's back moment.
Yeah,
and yeah, he basically gives them advice. A bit confusing because based on certain events, we find out this is taking place at a different time. Yeah, he looks a lot different than he does in the first movie. So basically he gives them advice that, oh, you could probably kill somebody, and basically plants that thought in their head, and they contemplate it and wondering, like, bouncing back between intervening or killing somebody as the solution to their problem. We see the black tech guy gets into a fight with one of his co-workers, basically, and it leads to him accidentally killing the guy, because he, like, they're fist fighting and he falls through the bridge and gets impaled on a crane hook.
Right, and the way the camera's shown, it looks like he's gonna get, like, his fall on the spike underneath Dick first. But then it pans up with the "Are you all right?" and he's just impaled, and then falls further on his face. Yeah, that one I would consider kind of black comedy to.
And so the Dick coworker dies, and basically this clears the black guy from death's list because he sacrificed a life.
Yeah, he technically killed him.
And they realize, oh, there actually is some merit to him because weird things stop happening to him all of a sudden, and then they get a funny death where like the Dick boss is coming in asking what's happening. Then a wrench, like, falls in the fan and then gets flung and crushes him to death.
Yeah, it just gets stuck in his skull.
We missed our wisecracking feline friend. Oh, nice to be appreciated. Welcome back, Kat. Hey, nice to see you again, Emily.
Yeah.
How was the date? Okay, cowbell. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the foreman's dead.
So, yeah, the foreman's dead, and then the dickhead boss dies, so they're realizing that they're running out of people. Yeah. The guy and the girl basically go on like a date basically at a restaurant, and he realizes that his girlfriend doesn't actually die. He like has a vision and he sees the death accident. She actually made it across the bridge.
Oh wow.
Where he and his dude bro friend died, but he basically like the dude bro finds out that he saved his girlfriend first instead of him, and this turns him against them, basically, because he thinks choosing her spared her from this pain.
Yep.
And, like, he and his dude bro friend have, like, a falling out all throughout the movie, and basically being told that killing a person, like, triggers something in him. Like, so we get a human villain who's secondary antagonist in this.
Which I said before to Kat that it's kind of funny to call it a secondary antagonist when the primary is just the force of death.
Right. The dude bro friend undergoes a dark turn. Like, he contemplated killing a random pedestrian or a homeless guy, but realized, no, he wants revenge for being put on this list in the first place by killing somebody who deserves to die, and he tries to kill his bro's girlfriend, basically.
Yep.
He, like, stalks them to the restaurant with a gun and gets into a fight with them in the restaurant, basically.
Yeah, he kills one of the other people that, like, tries to intervene and save the girlfriend.
Yeah, like a cop shows up, he
Right.
shoots him, but then he realizes he doesn't want to spend his new life behind bars,
Yeah,
so he's
that's a
gonna kill
funny
the
line.
witnesses
Yep.
now.
But he's unable to kill her because the friend comes and they have the fight.
Yeah, his friend comes back, they have a fight, and he kills him with, ironically, impaling him with, like, a post, just like how he died on the
Yeah.
bridge. And that counted as saving his life because he offered a sacrifice in his place.
Okay.
Does anyone know why Peter turned on the fryers? What was the point? I think it was death, kind of activating the kitchen stuff.
Yeah, most likely.
So, one of them could have died.
Alright.
Which one was PDF? Is that episode or the digital document? I think he's talking about Goosebumps.
Yeah,
Don't go to sleep like the PDF doesn't even feel like a real Goosebumps episode, even with how silly Goosebumps could get at times. It still felt out of place. Yeah, that episode was weird.
Yes, well, okay.
So everything's good. They offered sacrifices, and he and the girlfriend are the only survivors this time until we get our twist ending. They decide to, like, go on vacation to get away from all this, and
Yep, to France.
yep,
How
they
nice.
board Flight 180.
Yep,
And we
in the
see,
year 2000.
we see this was all actually a prequel before the first movie, and
Yep.
they play archive footage showing Alex and his group on the plane.
Yep.
He talks about how everyone's gonna die and they get taken out for their movie. And the guy and his girlfriend realize that death is going to cause the accident again, this time for a whole plane full of people.
Yep.
And basically the main character dies the death that was meant for Alex right at the start of the series, where
Yep.
he burns to death on the plane. And that is the end of the Final Destination saga.
Yep.
Like, it all came full circle. This one was definitely a huge step up from the Final Destination.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
This one returned to its horror roots, had some dark comedy still, but you actually felt entertained by it, and they actually embraced the concepts this time.
Yeah, there's definitely a level of quality, like, returning to the series.
Yeah, it all came full circle. Hope you got a chance to see the moon
I
last
saw the
night.
moon
Wolf.
last night.
Yeah, it looked pretty.
Yeah.
The movie was a prequel the entire time.
Yep.
Poof de fromage.
Yeah.
That was
I remember
terrible.
seeing it and it was just like a fever dream.
To this day, people wonder why Molly died. How she wasn't meant to be. How do you feel sorry for Sam and Molly? Oh yeah, the girlfriend wasn't even on the list, and she dies on the plane.
Aw.
Yeah, she.
Well, I mean, there were a lot of other people on the plane that died too, so
Well, yeah,
there's always going
There's
to
so
be...
many innocent people there.
Yeah.
You had to be a fucked up god to kill this plane.
Yeah.
And he was. He killed the innocent girlfriend with him.
Yeah.
There's some fan theories that the plane accident happened in the first place because he was trying to get Sam, the main character.
Okay.
Which, I don't know. It feels a bit of a stretch because there's like a dozen or so people on there.
Right. It could have been any of them.
Like, he could have been killing multiple people.
right.
With,
Like the
Stone.
first group.
Oh, that's right. There was a double twist. The black guy, the tech bro, finds out that the guy he killed was actually had cancer the whole time
Yeah.
and would have died any day. And then
right, and
when
the
he's at the bar
plane-
partying, the plane engine falls through and
kills
crushes him,
Yep.
killing all the characters.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was like a double twist.
Yep.
So everyone died. The end.
Feel better now.
That didn't help at all. Yeah, the plane debris fell on him. Have audio muted due to Daddy being around. Okay.
That's fine.
That's fine. I'm not in
Now
your
you
column.
can't even hear us.
Okay, so that is so far the end of the series until the alleged sixth one.
Okay.
So I thought it served fine as a finale.
Yeah.
It was definitely a better Final Destination film,
Right.
but I'm not sure I want to put it on S rank. Like, I know a lot of people actually really love this one.
Yeah, well, there are also quite a bit of people I hear about them not liking it being the prequel. Like,
Yeah,
they don't like the twist at the end.
Yeah, they tried to tie it full circle, and it was a prequel to the first
Yeah,
one.
and apparently some people just did not like that.
Like-
Like, I could see that. It does kind of come out of nowhere, but also I've seen comments where it's like, there's clues that it's set in the past.
Like, yeah, they don't have, like, the latest iPhone or anything in this
Right.
movie, and they did cover their tracks, basically, to make sense time-wise.
Yeah.
Well, outside of like Tony Todd having a shaved head when he had a full hair in the first movie.
Yeah, I mean, that's just an actor problem. Can't really do anything about that.
And I'm back. Good to have you back, just some random guy who comments.
Yep, I think it's a solid A or B. 2 is still my favorite. Yeah, I could see this as an A at least.
I see it more as a B, though.
Really? Okay.
I might put it on A just because it was a huge breath of fresh air after the fourth one.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I'll put it on A, but I'm putting it after the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so that pretty much completes our tier list.
Yep, thankfully it's only 5 films.
Yeah, so Wolf isn't here for an eternity this time.
Nope.
Any last comments you want to make? Start making them now before we end the stream.
Yep.
But yeah, this is our ranking on the Final Destination. The 5th movie is definitely an A. If they make a 6th movie, I'm gonna see it. Wolf probably won't care.
No, I've never seen any of these films. I've
Yeah.
only seen what on the How to Survive.
Wolf's not
Video.
a huge horror fan.
Nope.
And thankfully, Tony Todd's at his best in this movie because they finally use him more.
Right.
And at this point, we know he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bloodsworth is pretty cool, underrated horror icon. Tony Todd really had fun in all these movies.
I bet.
And if they do make the 6th one, I'm 100% sure they'll dedicate it to him.
Yeah.
Because it's not like they're going to make another Candyman now.
To me, I think in the Final Destination series, there's a waiting room for those who didn't believe in death coming for them. So, after all the victims, who was meant to die so they can cross over. I mean, that just kind of sounds like purgatory.
Right. I heard rumor that the 6th one, the theories are they're going to bring all the surviving characters into it. But it's like, hasn't only Kimberly survived these movies?
There's a whole lot of them.
Like, most of them have them all die. And
I mean, I guess you could do the baby as well that was born in the
baby
second
who was
one.
born, yeah. Some people theorize that, oh, well, Clear Rivers could have survived that explosion that burned her.
Yeah, so you just close the door and it
like-
would have just stopped.
Yeah, we're going to see Ollie Larder, like Dr. Loomis with half her face scarred, walking around with a limp.
Yeah.
It's like, I liked Ollie Larder. It's like, I wouldn't complain if they brought her back, but I would also question how she survived.
Yeah, they would have to show that. They can't just be like, hey, I have my trusty Bible in my pocket.
Oh, well, maybe she swapped places with the medic Kyle in her place, like Michael Myers.
Yeah.
I'll definitely watch FD6. Hopefully Tony Todd will get a nice tribute. Definitely. Chaos.
God.
Ah, got it. Love you, Wolfie and Kitty Cat.
What do you think the next ranking will be? I don't know.
For me, I did a ranking video on American Pie. You're getting that for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be the PG-13 cut. It's available now on Patreon if you can't wait. I got the uncut version if you want to see before I censor all the naughty jokes.
Okay.
Yeah, we got American Pie on Patreon. Don't worry, you guys, you're gonna get a PG-13 cut onto YouTube. I got that scheduled for around Thanksgiving, so yeah, I'm gonna spice things up with a different flavor of pie.
Okay. There's a comment he just said that something he said as a kid.
Jeffrey, can you draw a better picture of my dead wife? That was from one of her streams.
Okay.
Yeah, Emily plays Class of '09.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's... Oh, man, I'm sorry about the recent one that dropped.
So sadly, we won't be able to hear Cat drop an F-bomb. No, not this time, but on the unrated cut you will. She-bo-bo-bo.
Yeah, that was... I basically covered that without covering it.
Rank the Serial Rabbit Saga?
I've never... What?
Don't know what she's talking about.
Nope.
Unless you're talking about the Night of the Lepus.
There was only like one film of that.
Yeah.
And I remember I was the only one in a college class that knew of that film.
More syrup, more syrup. That was the Clement from The Walls, Haunting Hour.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, so personally, I like the Final Destination series. They're not high art. They're just dumb, fun horror movies, basically.
It's like Saw, but lesser.
Yeah, it's like you have fun watching the over-the-top kills, the creativity, and of course the natural fear of death we all have.
Okay.
And basically, these were just dumb fun. The first 2 movies tried to have deep stories.
Same with the 5th one.
Yeah, 5th was a nice return to form, but basically you're just there to have fun and be scared, watching the over-the-top kills, cool effects, Tony Todd being wicked.
Yep.
Yeah, they're just fun. They're just fun.
Skip the 4th one.
Yeah, the 4th one sucks. It is the definition of a cash grab.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen our ranking, S rank is Final Destination 2, the best of the series. I think this one really put the franchise on the map. It has the most fun, it has the most creative kills, and pretty entertaining characters and fun amusement. Next is the first movie. This is the one that started it all. It has its flaws. They were definitely trying to figure out where this franchise was, where it stood. But I think it's fun. It definitely had creativity in it. Definitely had a lot more thought and wacky antics put into it. Then is 5. This one saved the franchise. Nice return to form.
Yeah.
Definitely a return to its horror roots.
Yeah.
This one really embraced the gruesome kills and made it scary again.
And it helps that they had the original guy come back for it.
Do you know what 420 means? Yeah, that's for drugs, yeah.
It's for weed.
You should rank your favorite numbers next. No, there's infinity.
Wait, no, scratch that, my deal. Stupid, rank the Killjoy movies instead.
I have never seen those outside of reviews.
Yeah.
The Weedies, I actually think it is police code for weed possession.
That kind of makes sense.
Mom loved the Clement episode. Yeah, that one was good. That one made S rank for us.
Okay.
Then at B, Final Destination 3. This one's okay. It had its good moments, but it had a lot of stupid moments. I definitely enjoy this one. This is one you watch, to have fun, one with friends. It is not a turn your brain off type of movie.
I'll only remember it for the 9/11 photo.
Right, and the roller coaster death.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, this one is okay. Definitely not the worst I've ever seen, but you might have fun.
Yeah.
Then the worst is the Final Destination. This one was the god-awful finale. This one was a definition of a cash grab. They were just profiting off these movies and pretty much didn't try.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much fake CGI, a lot of rushed script writing. You do not care about any of the characters. And yeah, they just pumped this out because Final Destination was being treated like Saw at this point. Where,
I mean, is it really though? Because it only has the 4 films up to that point.
Right. Well,
it was 3 years in between.
They were profiting off the torture porn kind of genre.
Right. So they tried. Although it's weird that they tried to end it. Maybe they just didn't see it as lucrative.
You smoke too? Just some random guy comments.
No.
It's also the birthday of an Austrian painter.
Yeah, it is. It is Adolfo's birthday.
Oh, Emily wants us to rank the Puppet Master films, or something mainstream. I tried talking Wolf into doing Elm Street and Jason, but unfortunately Wolf doesn't have any familiarity with those.
I only like the first ones, of course.
Yeah, I tried getting you to watch Elm Street 3. That one was the last good sequel.
I know.
And we have seen Freddy vs. Jason together.
Yeah.
So you've seen at least half of the movies.
Yeah, I've also seen the Wes Craven one, although I don't remember a lot about it.
Right. I tried getting Wolf into Jason, but we stopped at part 2.
Hey, I saw Jason X.
You did see Jason X?
I saw it on TV, yeah.
Okay, and we did see Freddy vs. Jason together, so that counts too, as one. So you've seen 4 out of 12, basically. Wolf hasn't even seen the Tommy Jarvis saga, except in parts.
Nope, I didn't even know what that was until the game.
Yeah, Tommy Jarvis, the only character who had 3 films at least. 6 if you count the Never Hike Alone saga.
Yeah.
Hey, whoa, buddy. How dare you disrespect the name Freddy vs. Jason like that?
Disrespecting it, I liked that film.
Yeah.
It's dumb, but yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid, but it's fun.
Yeah, and it was something it kind of breathed life into it, because for the longest time, people had always wanted to see a crossover of any of the horror icons.
And it's officially the last theatrical film Robert Englund played Freddy in.
Okay.
Yeah, other than that, he did cameos, but that was the last official Freddy movie he ever did.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
A good one to end on, then before they replaced him with Rorschach in the remake.
Yeah.
It's dumb fun versus movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this one, it wanted to be dumb fun, but it just ended up being plain dumb. So, here's our whole ranking in case you can't see it.
Yeah, guys, you can see the 5 films on here.
Yeah, all 5 of them.
It is not a whole lot.
It wasn't a lot, and Tony Todd, of course, may he rest in peace, definitely was a fun element of these films. If they did make the 6th one, I was hoping he'd be like Death fully on screen this time.
Maybe.
It's he was fun. He was the voice of these movies. He was the character everyone remembers.
Yeah.
And he definitely made this franchise just as big as Candyman. So yeah, sorry we're not doing Candyman, but Wolf and I don't have much interest in doing that one. So yeah, Wolf doesn't want to sit through a bunch of crap, and I really don't want to talk about the garbage sequels.
Yeah, and plus I'm already not that big into horror.
Yeah, I had to beg Wolf to do this one. And this one because Wolf actually seen reviews of it.
I saw the one video and then I watched it 2 more times.
Sometimes my mind loves dumb stuff. Yeah, we've all been there.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, we love Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and
Yeah.
that's stupid as hell.
Yeah, everyone loves dumb things. Everyone has a guilty pleasure. It's just being human.
How do you feel about Robert Englund wanting Kevin Bacon as Freddy?
I haven't seen enough of Kevin Bacon, unfortunately. I think he's only, in Footloose, and that's all I know.
Right,
And he's in a
I've
bunch
seen
of other stuff.
He was Sebastian Shaw in the X-Men First Class. You know, the villain.
Oh, okay.
He was the villain who could absorb energy, and
Yeah.
he created Magneto.
Oh, that was cool.
And I remember him as the Hollow Man, the not Invisible Man remake.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
that.
you've never seen that.
I
It's
don't think
one
I've
with
seen
the
a
Invisible
trailer.
Man, and Kevin Bacon is the Invisible Man. He's actually pretty good in that, but I don't think he's Freddy material.
Right. Was Kevin Bacon also in They Slash Them? Or was that someone else?
He was
I
like the
thought
corrupt
so, yes.
counselor.
Okay, I didn't
That
remember
stupid They Slash Them.
Yes.
It's like, oh well, if you're non-binary,
Yeah.
you can choose which cabin you want to be in. Yeah, that's not going to lead to rape.
Yeah, and then of course you weirdly kill off all the LGBT characters in it.
Right.
Kind
and
of a confused film.
it's just like it was just a slasher with LGBT people. That's all it was.
Yeah.
So you gonna go now or going to sleep? Just like
gonna-
how you got
Yeah,
in my
he's
long
been
arm.
putting.
I don't know what he's saying.
I don't know what that's a reference to. So if you can either explain it or stop, yeah.
Also, Robert Englund is going to be Jiminy Cricket and Pinocchio Unstrung in Twisted Childhood. Oh, that's the Pooniverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, really? Robert Englund's gonna be in the
That's
Pooniverse?
interesting.
It's like I wouldn't put it past him, but yeah, pretty odd choice. He's gonna be evil Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Pinocchio's public domain, Wolf,
Yep, and so is Popeye.
and Peter Pan.
Yep.
I can't.
Peter Pan, at least you can kind of do something with that.
Yeah, he takes children. so
Exactly.
yeah.
It's not that hard to do anything with, although they're still gonna mess it up.
Oh, sorry, my cat avatar might be blocking. If you can't see,
Okay.
the one is the worst of the worst.
Look,
Like anyone cares.
Look, you're trying to protect everyone with your ear.
Yeah, I'm trying to protect everyone. Yeah, that's the worst. FD2 up top. This one is my favorite.
And Bambi. Oh yeah, that's right.
It's pooing time. Yeah, some people asked us if we'd review that. It's like,
Nah, I'm not
no.
interested in it.
Wolf doesn't
Again,
have any interest.
it's horror and gore, the two things I don't really like that much.
And honestly,
Also, it's just dumb.
yeah, honestly, I don't care. I think it's pretty stupid. It's like one of
Yeah.
those low-budget, crappy horror movies.
Yeah, I heard they kind of tried in the second one.
Right.
It's like the way it started was so definitely as a cash grab of like, oh hey, it's in the public domain, we can just do whatever the hell we want.
If they got Tony Todd as Eeyore, then maybe.
Yeah, they got his ghost to do it, and he represents death.
Christopher Robin, be my victim. I could never take Winnie the Pooh seriously when I was young due to the poo part.
That's fair. I remember watching Winnie the Pooh. I still kind of love it.
Pooh comes from butt.
Rue's my favorite of them.
Yeah, you loved Rue.
Yes.
They're gonna have Bambi, Peter Pan, Pinocchio, Sleeping Beauty. Oh, Alice in Wonderland got added.
Okay. Yeah, I saw the Popeye one. Funny
Oh,
enough.
Popeye got one?
Yes, it came out today. I saw someone's comment being like, they could have done something with Popeye being a sailor going against eldritch horrors, like a Lovecraft thing, but no, they just decided to make him a slasher.
Who hates public domain? Not me, because now I could do some horror movies.
Exactly. Public domain is a good concept. It's just, the problem is it does open up to a lot of awful content.
Right, it does. Or
Yeah.
hack creators trying to
Exactly.
make their...
And you can't really stop that because of public domain.
Yeah, thanks to public domain, I might be able to get Phantom of the Opera clips for Phantom of the Auditorium. So,
Nice.
yeah. Alright, Wolf, you want to start wrapping up then?
Yeah, I think we can close out here.
Okay, so here's our Final Destination ranking. One last screenshot if you can't see.
6th time.
So, yeah. Wolf, do you have any plans you want to share with the people?
No.
Build up towards your next project?
Not really. I just need to get around to doing it still. I've been having an awful couple of days.
Yeah, just like Disney live-action remakes, I won't bother with those films.
Yeah, exactly.
they're low-budget crap.
Yeah.
Blood and Honey 2 was legitimately fun and well made. I recommend everyone check it out.
Yeah.
Kind of
I
like
heard that.
Pee-wee.
Yeah.
Is Pee-wee public domain?
I don't think so. No, but they're saying the like name. I think they're saying it. So the name Pooh was kind of like it's just one of those weird names.
Things
you can
where
never...
it sounds naughty to children.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Okay. Me, I'm working on a top 5 list, and then I'm hoping to get some of my crossovers off the ground. I'm doing one with Blacksmith Orange, one with the Film Exorcist, now Filmaroo, and hopefully one with Emily. We're just trying to work some things out.
Yeah.
Basically, we all have lives, so we're all busy doing other stuff. I do have some projects planned. I'm going to do a lot more passion projects and hopefully finish Goosebumps, since that's what everyone wants.
Yeah.
But yeah, had a fun stream. This is our Final Destination thoughts.
Yep.
Good franchise. Tony Todd, legend. Really loved him. All in his name. He had a pretty good horror franchise here. I do love this more than Candyman, definitely. But yeah, this was for you, Tony. Our thoughts on the Final Destination saga and our official ranking on them, so now you can stop asking us.
Yes. Thank you all for coming as well.
He's been Wolf, I've been Kat, and we'll see you